What's going on, everybody? Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by G Fuel Energy. Right now, until April 27th, you can get 30% off everything at gfuel.com with code DannyD. Lots of new flavors just came out. We got XQC's The Juice, Clickbait, Bobby Boysenberry, Pink Drip. There's just a ton of new flavors, and they've all been pretty solid. If you've never had G Fuel before, I suggest Hype Sauce, that tastes like raspberry lemonade, Snow Cone, that tastes like a red, white, and blue popsicle, and I really suggest the new Clickbait flavor. It tastes like cherry Kool-Aid, and I love it. Today's guest is a good friend of mine. I discovered him on TikTok a while back, and we just hit it off right away. Me and him share a lot of the same interests when it comes to movies, TV, video games, stuff like that. Really, they just talk about everything. It's a really genuine conversation. I had a great time. Please welcome my friend, Genie Boy. All right, we're going. Well, they don't like particular conspiracies, but Genie Boy. So,
hello,
dude,
happy to be back.
It's been like exactly 3 months since you're on it. It does not feel like that, man. It feels like it's been maybe a month and a half.
That's for sure. That's for sure. It's time is going way too fast, and it's a little scary. It's a little makes me think, makes me wonder, like if I'm getting older too fast or not. But I've been told that I shouldn't be worrying.
No, if you're worrying about stuff like that, then you're taking away from
present day.
What? Yeah, I keep telling people are like, if people get mad because they come into my stream like, Danny, when's your next 24-hour stream? I'm like, bro, you need to stay in the present, dude. I'm not worried about no 24-hour stream right now. I'm worried about this dub. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm also trying to avoid having to do a 24-hour stream because it's so much work for me. I have to like make TikToks in advance, and because I'm on that grind, dude. I'm just pumping out content left and right.
But do you schedule videos at all? Like, have you done that
No,
before?
I haven't. I've scheduled YouTube videos, but I don't schedule TikToks. Which, if they make that a feature, I definitely will. Because I like it's at this point. It's on desktop. Yeah, it's at the point where I have to literally like wake up, post a TikTok, go back to sleep. Because it's like I start posting at like 9 or 10 in the morning. So, but I'm still posting 5 a day. So.
How late do you stay up usually?
I've been staying up till like 1 in the morning, dude. Just working. I'm usually doing YouTube this late, you know. Yeah. After the stream, it's just YouTube time. But 6-hour streams now, man. 5 days a week.
That is a commitment and a half, but it's proven to be successful though.
I got my Saturdays back, which is nice.
Good.
Yeah, it's nice to have my Saturday back. Let me double check that we have enough storage space because I keep getting alerts. So let me double check. I think we're good. I think we're good on this SSD. I saved this one just for like content. Oh yeah, we're good. We got 360 gigs. We're good.
Oh, nice.
All right. But yeah, man. New Warzone map just came out today. If you want to call it a new map.
Yeah,
I like it. It's growing on me. I like the changes.
Good. I actually didn't get to play it that much. I think I just hopped off and I played The Last of Us Part 2 because the servers were down. That's why I was like,
yeah, they went back up. Right at the beginning, I think there was literally like 10 million people trying to play at once, so it was just a lot for the servers. But one thing I'm happy to say is it seems like for the most part, it's easier to get over rocks. Believe it or not.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems like they added some places where you can hit space to jump up on stuff a lot more. Because I know that was one of the biggest complaints. It's like, dude, you can freaking, jump from building to building and jump on ledges and go through a window to like go behind somebody, but you can't get over a rock. Like, it's just makes no sense. So.
That's really good that they fixed that. How was the summit part of the map? Did you end up checking that out?
It is so sweaty because everybody wants to check it out. Like, there's just a million people there, and then you'll like clear a team, and then all of a sudden somebody will come in on the ski lift and freaking like wipe out the whole team. It's the ski. Yes, the ski lifts are like they're more like what do they call them? They're more like I guess they are ski lifts technically, but they're like carts. So like they're not like a ski lift. It's more like the canopy closed version of it.
Sure, like the one in Rebirth.
I mean, it's just like yeah. It's just there's like 6 of them, dude. It's crazy. Okay. So and they're a pain to shoot people from because they're moving at a decent speed.
Well, it was interesting because apparently Battlefield made like the people behind Battlefield, I guess that's EA, they made an announcement saying, well, they always say this, but it's the biggest team in history of Battlefield that they have. They have like 4 different studios and all this stuff. Basically, like, so they said, get ready for an announcement soon. It's, you know, they're all hyping it up like it's the biggest thing ever made. But I found that ironic that they dropped that the same day as, you know.
Oh, they're definitely the main competition for COD. But what I do want to say is there's 2 things that come with that. One, you got to remember that Battlefield 5 was a complete flop. It was just really bad. I liked Battlefield 1, but it just didn't have legs. It just, for some reason, every time they released content, it seemed like it just cut their player base in half every time. So now that it's free content, I think that's going to be a big changer for that game. And then the second thing is they also announced they're coming out with a mobile game. So.
Oh yeah, that was today too.
So, how much is that team that they're talking about being the biggest Battlefield team ever working on that? You know, because mobile games are huge right now. Like, there's just huge money makers. So we'll see. I have faith though. I'm glad that it's a modern game. I think right now the worst thing you can do is make a World War II game, because I can't believe COD is doing that, man. I can't believe they're making another World War II game.
Oh, are they thinking? Have you been seeing, like, I see a lot of like clickbait stuff on Facebook where it's like, developer inside Call of Duty 2021 Vanguard says the next Call of Duty is a complete disaster waiting to happen and all that stuff.
Well, you have to remember that the team that is making this next game is the same team that got kicked off of Cold War. Oh yeah.
For doing a bad job?
Yeah.
Oh. That's not good.
So they're technically the reason why the Cold War is as bad as it is. So I think everybody's just like, you know what? It's gonna be a Battlefield year, and then we're gonna get Modern Warfare 2, and hopefully that's gonna be one of the biggest Call of Duties ever.
Yeah.
I cannot wait, dude. I loved Modern Warfare. I just think there were some things here and there that they could have done differently, but for the most part, I think it was one of the strongest COD games we've had in probably 5-6 years.
Yeah, agreed. I genuinely, like, when I picked it up, I haven't remembered playing a first-person shooter that I said, oh my god, I kind of enjoy this. I kind of like the way this feels. And then, like, of course, like, Warzone just amped that up to a million.
Yeah.
And
the campaign is clean too. That is a solid campaign.
Yeah. Have you played Clean House, that one, the night vision one?
Yeah, where you always see these people on TikTok shooting the baby. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's like a thing where, like, you throw a grenade in the crib or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. And he's just like, oh, what's wrong with you, soldier?
That is such a TikTok thing. But.
Yeah. Speaking of TikTok, so how's TikTok going? I see yours because I look at my following page a lot, so I see yours all the time.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's I'm about to hit 100K. We're at 99.2 or 0.1.
Let's go.
And, thank you. Yeah, and on that grind has been kind of like in the past, like, 2 weeks, I was like sitting at about 97, and I was like, okay, I could hit 100K pretty soon here. And then I kept thinking, I was like, do I want that? What am I going to do at 100K? Because that's like a big responsibility in my, like, to me, that is. And I was like, okay, if I was to hit 100K, I can't just be kind of slacking off streaming once a week, maybe, and then, like, not having a schedule, and then, like, barely knowing what I'm doing and all that stuff. So, like, this week was a really, like, good slap in the face that made me say, you know what, like, the whole reason I got into film in the first place was because of YouTube, which...
Hang on, one moment. Sorry, I'm in a madhouse right now.
All good. Everything okay?
Yeah, it's just my wife can't, like, the window's super hard open, and with her wisdom teeth, she's not supposed to, like, try to do stuff like that, because she's got them removed.
I feel you.
So I helped her with that, and then Sammy, our dog, ran downstairs, and he, like, wouldn't come upstairs. Like, come here! And so he wouldn't listen. And then little man is over here turning his TV up to 11, just freaking blast out, hey, turn it down! He's like, I'm sorry. But, yeah, no, it's... Well, you were talking about hitting 100K. And, like...
Oh, right, yeah. what I think about when I kept thinking about it, I was like, okay, if I want to take this seriously, if I really want to like do something with this and like not let a lot of people down, I should kind of kick it into high gear and reprioritize my schedule to be more around this whole Genie Boy thing rather than um, trying to be the best I can at my day job. And a part of that was me looking at that long term and saying like, well, when this day job is gone and like I have to quit that, I'm gonna have nothing to come back to, and I'm gonna regret it if I let this go. And so, with that in mind, and then a number of things about like letting down the community, and like a lot of my fans like reached out to me and like text me. I hate calling them fans, but I always say they're friends. But like I said that word there. They're always like texting me like, "We streaming today? You streaming today? This is it." And I was like, "Oh God, like, all right, fine. Like, I gotta like slap myself in the face and just kind of do better." But it's a good awakening for me to say, okay, let's get back to the glory days of when I had nothing and I really wanted to do this and nothing but this. And so that's pretty good. It's a lot of it too is like you said, I noticed that algorithm is really tough to hit sometimes. It's tough to like stuff that I think will hit the algorithm. I'm like, and it doesn't hit it. It's very frustrating because it's like, what did I do wrong here? And then I get kind of really in my head about every small detail in my video when I'm editing it. It's like, can I take out this joke? But I know if I leave this joke in, then a certain amount of people will comment on that specific joke, and if they comment, then that'll increase my algorithm chances.
That's really what it is.
Yeah, and it's like a part of it's being the algorithm. A part of it's like I really want to not just have to submit myself to constant funny gameplay videos with over exaggerated subtitles and stuff like that. Like I kind of want the people to know me for me, and so I think I'm gonna try to find ways to like kind of improve that more. Like you were saying at one time, you had told me to do like a Wendy's review of like bacon, the Baconator. I guess I haven't done it yet, but I would be interested in doing that eventually. But stuff like that is what I'm trying to get into.
Yeah, no, I 100%, and people have told me straight to my face, like, dude, like people don't watch you for your gameplay, they watch you for your personality. Which some people who are trying to be like a professional like esports player might take offense to. You know what I mean? But me, I'm like, no, I never wanted it to be like, oh, they're coming to watch me play a game. Like they're coming to hang out. You know?
Exactly. That's like one of the most valuable things to have in a community, because at the end of the day, that means you as a person and as an artist, as a content creator, can go on and do what you want. You know what I mean? Like an esports player that is loved for his gameplay and then suddenly wants to be a TV star. I guess maybe that would work for some people, but in other ways, like if he wanted to be an actor or do something else that involves him and putting himself out there, like it would be kind of difficult, or like maybe not. I don't know, but it's
I think I get what you're saying. Like, because I mean, obviously that's something that I want to do. It's one of those things where it's like I just need to. I feel like I'm. Part of me is on the fence because like I definitely want to make that call and be like, hey, so this and that. I definitely don't want to just have my, like maybe they could put my name is Danny Dorito 23 on their website or something like that. But like I just don't know how I'm gonna go about it. And at the same time, it's one of those things where I've always been raised to think that if I really want to do something, I can make it happen. But I just know it starting something new like that. Like I mean, I remember when I first started this podcast and seeing like 10 views on the first one or something like that. I was like, man, it's gonna be hard. And then like now I get somewhere between like 700 to 1,000 plus on each one.
Sure. Yeah.
And like it's such a grind. And so it's like with everything I'm doing to also throw in there like auditioning for stuff, it's like, man, like, and not only that, like I gotta start going back to the gym. I gotta schedule my veterans, like I guess it's Veterans Affairs, my VA appointment, so I can start getting paid for the damage I got in the military. So there's that too. It's like there's just a lot, and every time my wife is like, "Hey, don't forget, like you got to sign this paperwork for the lawyer or something like that, something to do with like the corporation and stuff like that." I'm just like, oh man, it's just another thing. It just feels like I get one thing off my plate and then two more things get added to it. It's just it's a lot, man. And I think that's a lot of the reason why like people just give up or don't succeed in the first place. It's like it's a lot, man. It's one of the hardest things I've ever done is all this.
Yeah.
Being my own boss. It's hard.
Yeah. It's rewarding, but it's extraordinarily hard. That's what personal assistants are for. If you would ever, I don't know, you need a personal assistant.
Is Genie Kid available? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he needs money to save up for his PC. That would be awfully funny.
Bro, but, I felt so bad because I had already picked a winner for that desk, and then I saw that video that you guys made.
Oh,
I felt so bad, dude.
No, it's okay.
Because it was funny.
Yeah, it was really like, it's okay. Nothing like, I kind of told him, I was like, yo, don't go in with any expectations. Like, we're posting it pretty late. Like, because he was like calling me. He was like, hey man, like, could you help me like make this this video for Danny and stuff like that? I was like, oh yeah, I got you. So like,
dude,
he set a time and did it.
The way that he acts and like the way that he just like all of a sudden be like, you motherfucker, like he'll just like go after somebody, like that is totally a personality that he could totally take and run with.
I know. It's amazing because he's like, there's a lot of things that he knows about, like as far as like, I don't want to say like street talk, but just like, like hip, like stuff that I didn't know when I was his age because I was very sheltered. Like he's very like quick on his feet. He's very funny, like as a comedian in general. Like he's very quick on his feet, and he just kind of knows how to just like be unapologetically himself. And it's like a part of it is I can't imagine how lenient his parents are, because if I heard my kid like yelling the amount that he does from his room, and then I hear he's going viral on TikTok, I'd just be really confused.
Oh
but,
man,
like,
I mean,
it's funny.
Yeah, no, you two, you guys are funny. Like I really do. I enjoy those TikToks. Like I said, if I could give one piece of advice to most people, it's just, for me, it was posting more. Posting more helped me a lot. And I mean, the sad thing about that though is, I know it seems like it's impossible to edit that many videos that are game clips. So that's why I stepped away from doing so many of those, and it turned into just like real life stuff. Because I mean, I've had videos that are stupid simple go viral.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it's like I'm working on a GTA one right now, where or I'm working on like because I am trying to be a little bit better at posting game stuff on TikTok, because people are like, let me see some gameplay, like and they do seem to help when those pop off, and especially at my size now, if it's decent enough, it will do well. And I think because I do it so infrequently now, it's kind of more special when they get one of those. Like I don't know if you saw the one I did. It was the bank robbery.
I think, when was that posted?
Like 2.5 weeks ago, probably, at this point, maybe 3.
I might have seen it. Was it like
I just got it was, I always try to make them fit the whole screen, so like I edit it in Premiere. It was me, like the doors are open and I like walk by and the cops just shoot me up, and I'm laying there like, oh no, and then like there's people there too that are robbing the bank with me. We got a hostage, and he's like, a dead body. He's like, freaking out.
Oh my god.
And then this one guy, and we still are trying to figure out who it was. He was doing this like British gentleman accent, but he's like, I got fucking shot. He's like talking. He's like, they turned me to Swiss cheese. And then the guy, when you die in that game, you're not supposed to be talking, right? Like you're role playing. And so he said, oh my god, my legs, screaming and stuff. And the guy's telling him, he's like, hey, stop talking, you're dead. Stop talking, you're dead. And then all of a sudden, this kid just starts going, I want a banana. Like,
What the fuck?
He's like, if there's one less thing I could have, it's a banana, because he's all dead, like bleeding out.
That's what he's talking to. Oh my god.
It was good, man. It was good. I think it got close to 1 million.
Really? Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Like I
Yeah,
said, I could tell when a moment is probably gonna do decent. I'm working on one right now, where I got fat shamed because my character was fat.
oh my god.
Like,
Oh
dude,
my god.
I would have posted tomorrow, I think, but like, so I get out of the hospital, and there's a van sitting there, and this guy's like, "Hey, yo, fatty, move your van," or whatever, you know, like, "Hey, it's not mine," you know, and then some guy's like, "Hey, fat ass," and I was like, "What? You got some food for me or something?" You know, and then and he's like, "You should probably move that," and I'm like, "It's not mine," you know, I'm like pissed off. And then I like, "I'm gonna beat your ass, dude," like swing at him, and then everybody in this gang just starts coming after me, and like somebody like they kill me, right? Because I fall on the ground. Oh, that's what happens. There's so much going on in this TikTok, bro. So I'm like starting a fight with this guy, and then I get up and a van hits me. Or no, a van hits me, I get up, I punch 3 gang members, and they just beat the shit out of me, dude. Like, I die. And then I'm laying there, and this van that ran me over is just like running over this dude. And they walk over, they're like, "Yeah, that fat ass deserved it." They're like, "I need a goddamn pizza," or something, you know? Like, there's just it's chaotic.
Oh my god. I gotta try that.
I'm terrible. I'm terrible at explaining stuff. I have in the past, but I haven't done it on stream. That's chaotic.
Okay. Yeah, that is.
It's funny though.
A lot of dudes dressed up as like very sensually dressed,
scantily clad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm curious to see how this TikTok does. I'm thinking about cutting out a certain portion to make it shorter, because that's the biggest thing is my gaming TikToks always end up being long.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because they kind of, yeah. But I try to introduce it and be like something that grabs you. You know what I mean? So like this one, I started off and it's just me full screen, and I'm just like, "I got fat shaved," and then it cuts to like the RP logo, and it's like, "It's GTRP," and then like it shows everything going down. But it's like 45 seconds, and I'm trying to cut it down to more to like maybe 30, 35.
That's a sweet spot. Yeah, 45 seconds is like the top.
It's so hard to get longer videos to do well. I'm just nervous because I don't know this algorithm, man. The algorithm changed, and it's just, I don't even know anymore.
How it changed? Or like,
like I said, it seems like videos take the full 3 days to kind of get their explosion.
3? Oh my.
Yeah. Which is like, before it would be like I'd post it that day and it would have 1 million, you know, and I would know that one's going to keep growing. But part of me thinks part of me thinks they might have done that because they're trying to stretch out the creator fund and make it last. You know? It's just a theory. The other thing is they just changed a lot. They're introducing 3-minute videos.
When is that happening? Is that like
I already have access to it, but I'm not ready to, until I start seeing on my For You page, I'm not posting one.
Yeah. 3 minutes?
Yeah. 3 minutes, which makes me wonder, when they really start pushing out 3-minute videos, does that mean longer content's going to do better? Longer form content? Shorter videos aren't going to do as well?
I don't see that, like, I don't see how that would work with like the layout that it is now, where you're like swiping up and very quickly going through it.
There's 2 arguments to it. One of them is that there, you know, obviously TikTok would love to be like the next YouTube. But then the other argument is TikTok has just set themselves up to just be a really short attention span type of platform, you know? On YouTube, you might watch 4 or 5 YouTube videos in an hour if you're watching the whole thing. And on TikTok, you might watch 300 videos in an hour or something, you know? Like, you're just flying through them. So, exactly. I don't know. I think TikTok is kind of in a weird stage right now. This past week, I had yesterday was the first day that I had videos hit 1 million this week. And before this week, it had been pretty much every day I had at least one hit 1 million. So it's something definitely changed this week. Like, I try not to complain about it because it's like, oh yeah, I'm complaining about not hitting 1 million, but at the same time, it's all relative, you know. But
it is work, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's what I do. So And it definitely affects everything else. If my TikToks aren't doing well, my Twitch doesn't do as well. And then I mean today was probably one of the weirdest streams I had, because at the beginning it was a lot of people tuning in for the event, and then it kind of just shot down to like 400, which I've been averaging about 600-700. So it went down to like 400, and then it kind of steadied around 400 to like 480 for the rest of the stream. But I think it's because everybody's watching Warzone is the thing. It's super oversaturated right now, like super oversaturated.
Plus the servers going down too, I feel like was a really, like, people are just hopping to the next person that like maybe has it working. You know what I mean? I had the same thing where like I was also, because I jumped to Last of Us 2, which was a
Dude, it was pissing me off. There was people literally they would come into the chat, be like, "Yo, it's working for Nick Merckx. Yo, it's working for Tim the Tap Man." I'm just like, bro, I don't care if it is, man. We're trying to get it to work here. Go watch them. You know what I mean? They're like, you're so. It's like, it's not self promo, but it's promoting a bigger person. You know, that like, it's like, come on, dude. How would you like? Yeah, well, how would you like it if I went into, you know, it's like, how would they like it if I went to their stream and I was like, hey, yo, come watch XQC or something, you know? Like,
yeah.
I was just like, come on, dude. And then today, for some reason, there was just a lot of trolls, dude. A lot, yeah. Somebody came in and was like, hey, why does your wife look like a pillhead?
What?
A pillhead, like a drug addict. I was just like, what the hell?
Oh.
I'm like, what the, bro? You know, I was like, dude, like, I don't know if you have drug problems in the family, but that ain't cool, dude. Like, you know, do you just go around saying that to people? And he kept going. But I've been making an effort not to ban people right away, because I feel like unless they're saying like something super racist or bullying somebody else in the chat, you know, then you don't want to give them that attention that they're trying to get. And sometimes, I mean, you've seen it. People literally come in and they'll be like, hey, yo, ban me, time me out, you know, or something. And it's like, what the hell, dude? Like, what, do you just go around asking people to ban you? What's going on in this person's head? I call them goldfish brains now.
Goldfish
Yeah.
brains.
Because they can only remember, like, they have like a 2-second attention span or something.
Oh. That's so true though. And then, like, do you get a lot of those people that like do the fake donation thing where it says so?
Oh, you just gotta ignore them. You just gotta ignore them.
Yeah, I usually ban those people because I just don't like. Because a lot of people who will fall for that and get their hearts broken. You know what I mean?
Yeah. A lot of times they just want attention, so I try my best to not give it to them.
Exactly, that's the best way to do it.
But yeah, no, they'll come in and be like, why do you look so overweight? I'm just like, what?
Bro, that's like the hardest thing to do. Like when you're fucking streaming. I remember when I was like when I considered myself, I guess, full time back in like November, December. I remember not being able to go to the gym, and I remember saying, wow, if there was anything I could do right now in the schedule of the day, it would be go to the gym.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it. That is such a.
I know.
Do you have like a thing in your home, maybe like a room that you can dedicate to it?
Oh, so you think I'm overweight? Is what you're saying? You think I should?
No.
No. I'm gonna. The gyms are open here again. So once my wife, we were talking about after this week, because this week it's just totally screwed, because any free time I have, I'm like trying to help out with little guy running around, and you know she's in pain, so it's just been a stressful week all around. But yeah, no, definitely I plan on signing up for a gym tomorrow or Saturday.
Yeah.
So because I want to start going back and it'll give me a reason to get up in the morning. So.
Do you have like a routine like that you like remember from like the military? Or you just kind of like doing whatever flows?
Weightlifting. So there was a program that I followed, but it was more for strength. So like it didn't look like I was as strong as I was. And like okay. I do kind of want to like go more for the look now, you know, like I think that it's more satisfying to do that, because if you lift for strength, there's definitely a point at a certain point you stop like looking like you're making progress and more like feeling like you're making progress.
Yeah.
I'd rather look like I'm making progress right now, because I don't know, I just need like a ego boost or something, because there's kids in my chat calling me overweight, so I'm kidding, dude. No, it's funny though, because I was just like, dude, I know I've been stress eating, but I mean, like, I'll stand up and be like, do I look overweight? You know, and everybody's like, damn, Danny's jacked or something, you know, like people trying to like make me feel better.
They're also giving you shit on GTA as well. That's really sad, man.
Oh, dude, it's so funny. Today I might make this a TikTok too. I ended up in the jail. I got 40 months in prison on GTA, which is 40 minutes, because I stole a car. I stole a car. I killed the guy because, like, sometimes if you hold the driver at gunpoint, right, and then they get out, and if it's a civilian, if they get spooked for some reason, they'll like glitch and get back in the car and just drive off, even though you have the keys. So you're like, shit, dude, like, you know. So usually they get out of the car with their hands up, and I just cap them in the face and just hop in and go. So the problem with that though is, like, you have to leave the area because there's a dead body just laying there, you know, like somebody's gonna find it. And so so I leave this dead guy there. I turn around, I go to the hospital, and then somebody in my chat's like, hey, yo, come pick me up at the spawn. So I turn around and a cop sees me, and they know which car it is you stole, because like for their police officer interface, they have access to tools that show them stuff like that.
Okay.
And so like they know my vehicle's stolen, so the guy's like, pull over, and I just haul it, dude. I just start hauling. And so he's chasing me. His car is like just boosted, right? So like he crashes into me, and I'll spin out, and I'll just keep going. I'll just start getting and so I was just driving around, and I'm telling the child, like, I'm not stopping, you know, like, you know, like I'm just driving around, and then he hits me, and I hit a pole, and my car just flipped, dude. And so I'm like flipped upside down. And I'm like, you got to role play it. So I'm like, oh, and he's like, put your hands up. And I'm like, oh, I'm still alive. And so like, I'm like trying to get out, and I realize my seatbelt's on. So I click my seatbelt, and then the door opens, and he's like, put your hands up. And I pull out a gun and just start shooting at him. So I hit him twice, and then I went to go get behind the car, and it wouldn't let me take cover behind it for some reason. I think it was too close to the wall. And so he just pulls out like a combat shotgun and shoots me because he has access to those guns and I don't. And I had shot him twice, so he was like, oh man, I gotta, like, you know, he's gonna get away. So he pulls out this shotgun and just like one taps me. And I'm just laying there, and he's talking to me, and you could choose whether you're dead or not. And so like I just chose to play dead, so I just wasn't answering. So he's like, why'd you run from me, huh? Why'd you shoot me, huh? And like and then so I don't say nothing. And we're both like in the hospital together, like across from each other. I'm in cuffs. And these people come in and like, bro, what'd you do? And I was like, I shot a cop. And they're like, oh shit. Like they're like backing up from me and stuff. And I'm like, and then so he tells me, he's like, you're going to jail. You go to prison for 40 months. I was like, all right. So I go in there, and I'm like, guys, I just looked it up. That's 40 minutes. So we got to figure out something else to do, because there's nobody else in jail right now. And so recently there hasn't been any prison guards in there. But I guess this time they're finally, like, they actually got enough staff to like have some prison guards in there. And so I'm like watching live PD on YouTube with the chat and switching back and forth, checking how much longer I have. And all of a sudden I'm like, hey, there's another guy in here. So like I go up and I just beat the shit out of him. And like, so he's like laying on the ground, and he's like, help me, you know? And then somebody's like, yo, he's like, yeah, we got a 13-7. We have an inmate just beat another inmate to death or something. And I'm just like, oh, I was like, oh man. And so they come in, and like chat just starts laughing because they're like, Danny just beat up a dude in prison, you know? And so like I'm like, one of the like prison guards is just like, what? He's like, why'd you do that? And I'm just like, you come in here, I'll do it to you too, you know? Like I start like talking crap, and then like they tell me, they're like, go back to your cell. And so as I'm walking by, I stop and I stomp on the dude's head as I'm going. He's like, oh. You know, like, and so I keep going, and they leave the cell doors open, and they revive the guy, and he comes into my cell, so I beat him to death again. And so like they're like, oh come on man, you know, like, and because they have to come in and like revive him and all this stuff. And so like they lock our doors, and we're like they put him like on the far side, so we're like shouting at each other like, yeah, like when I get out of here I'm gonna beat your ass again, you know, like we're just talking shit to each other. And then like somebody's like, tell him he stinks. And I was like, damn man, I could smell you all the way over here, you stink. And he's like, no, that's your pussy. And I was just like, bro, it's like we're like arguing with each other, dude.
Oh my, can you break out of jail with that in that game?
You can, but you have to have the people, and like I don't know if that server is capable of it because there's so many mechanics that, like, if you have a really nice whitelisted server where like people donate a lot, like they have that stuff where you can like break out of jail or just like break into cop cars and steal them and stuff. But I don't think on that server you can. Oh, no, it was funny. I told you, dude. Like you gotta hop in there with me. We'll run around, and I was doing the news van thing for a while, but that kind of got boring because like I would show up and the gang would just be like, dude. One time I showed up and this gang had a tow truck driver. Like they just drive around and steal people's cars. So he just takes off with my news van, and so I'm like standing there like, hey bro, where's your van? And I'm just like, I don't have a van. And he's like, yeah, because we took it. And I'm like, and then like they're like, you better get out of here or we're gonna shoot you. And so like I'm like he's like, get that camera out of here. And I'm like, I can't put my camera away. I have to have the van. And so like the one guy's like, he said, put that camera away. Just shoots me. I'm like, I can't. Like they kill me. And then they hide my body. So like the paramedic shows up and he's like, where are you? And I'm like, I'm over here. Like hiding behind like a concrete slab. Like I'm like, they hid my body. And he's like, I can't see you.
Oh my God. And so that paramedic can like revive you and stuff?
Yeah, well they take you to the hospital. Because you can't move. You have to sit there for like 10 minutes and it's the most boring thing ever.
Oh my God. That is so like...
One time, and sometimes they just don't show up. Like they're either too busy on another call or... like all these are real people. Like in another server that I stopped playing because people just came in and said the N-word a lot. It was like not locked down very well. It was too easy to stream snipe. Dude, like this paramedic shows up and I was like, are you old enough to be a paramedic? And he's like, hi, like, what's wrong with you, sir? Like, you know, like some like little kid, dude. Like, it was funny because like
and he's like role playing as a paramedic.
Yeah. Yeah, like in this server, it tells you what your injuries are and stuff. But the other one, you had to like pretend like, you know, type in like what your injuries were. They're like, all right, I'm checking your body for injuries, you know. And I was like, man, this sucks. Like, you gotta type all the time. But, yeah, no, this server is a little more legit, but it's just overrun with gangs, dude. There's so many gangs on this server. Every time you show up, like, as a news van, you have, like, the scanner, and it'll tell you, like, shots fired on Los Santos Boulevard. And, like, you show up, and sometimes, like, hey, get out of here or we're gonna shoot you, you know? Like, it's just like, oh, like, you just take off, you know? But... today I got shot because I kept ramming a wheelchair into some gang member. Like he's like, bro, get that wheelchair out of here. And I just kept like for some reason it's like broken where you can run faster than a normal person if you have the wheelchair, like if you're pushing it. So like he would try to hit me and I would like take off and he can't catch me, and then he would like go back to talking to his other gangbanger friends, and I would turn around and ram into him again. And so finally he just shot me. And then he got in his car and like laughed as he was driving away.
What kind of gangs are like? Is that like the alien kind of like in the same, like they're all dressed the same? Or
yeah, they're all dressed the same. Like one time I just we were doing a bank robbery, so we had to change what we looked like. We were like put on a different outfit, you know. And I put a bandana on that had a skull on it. And like this gang stopped me, was like, take off that bandana, and I was like, oh my bad, you know, because that was like another gang's bandana, and they're like, we know you're not in this gang.
Oh my God.
It's crazy, man. And there's usually like 80 to 100 people on there at a time. So the hospital is a hot spot though. The hospital and the burgers, there's a burger spot, right? Like the burger joint. That's where all the trouble happens, is at the burger place.
You could just like chill at this burger place.
Yeah.
And, like, see shooting and stuff.
Yeah, like we get like one time we interviewed a guy. Or no, so we went and got burgers, and my buddy got mad because they raised the price of the combo. He was like, it used to be $60, now it's $200. Like, what happened? We have like mega inflation in the last like 2 hours, and they're like, oh well, it's dinner prices, and like my brother's like, it's 8 o'clock in the morning, because like you know, like so like they're all pissed off, and this guy gives us free food, but it turned out it was a viewer, and he wasn't supposed to give us free food, but so he gives us free food. And then we go, like, you know, respond to another case. We come back, and he had robbed the place because they fired him. And so we're interviewing this guy, and he's like, yeah, they mistreated me, so I robbed the place. And so like my buddy called the cops on him though, because the cops show up, and he's like, I called the cops.
Oh my god, that is like
It's
real
fun,
life.
dude. It is. They try to make it as real life as possible.
That is amazing.
There's probably people listening that are like either skip this part or don't care. But I think it's funny the amount of detail. People will get mad because they call it like, I think it's called metagaming, or like if they call it like starting a role play, where like if somebody pulls a gun on you, like put your hands up, you know what I mean? If you like don't do it or try to run, then like they'll get pissed off and just shoot you, you know, like they won't go with it, because like they want you to try not to kill people, you know, because in real life you're not just gonna go around killing people.
Yeah, unless you
So
kill them, I guess.
I mean, sometimes I just say screw it, and like I stole a bus and I drove right into like the burger place and like ran over a dude. And then this guy comes up, and like I had already I reversed into there, and like all these gang members swarmed. So I was like, all right, I guess we're going somewhere else, you know, because like there's people in the bus with me. I have like 5 people in the bus from my stream, just I'm driving around in this bus. And so like this guy pulls the gun. He's like, hey yo, why'd you pull out my why'd you run over my friend, huh? Like get out of the bus. And like I was already moving forward, so I just ran his ass over, and he's like, don't run me over, bro.
Oh my god.
It's fun, dude. Like, I got my driver's license suspended today. I got my dude, my firearm permit has been suspended for like a month now, and like I just keep getting guns illegally.
Like a black market. They have permits. That's amazing.
Yeah, like you just find somebody who has a permit and you pay them a little bit more. You're like, the gun's $900, but you'll pay them like $1,500, and they'll like buy you a pistol, you know?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Because when you're working for the news, you get a salary. You get paid like $1,000 an hour or something. So
By basically like black market kind of stuff within the game, like for getting illegal weapons, essentially.
well, I mean, so as a news crew person, you get paid a salary, and then when you show up to cases, you'll get like $50 to $150 or something for showing up to that case.
Oh,
You know?
okay.
But it's funny because we'll be like, oh, it's shots fired. Like we show up and we know that we might get shot at, you know? It's not like we start carrying guns and stuff because we're like, you know, the news crew sometimes they get a lot of hate. They're like, get out of here, because they know that like it sometimes we'll snitch, you know, we'll call the cops on them.
Okay.
Dude, I mean, like we showed up one time, and it was like a gang that had like a gun deal go bad, and so there's just like dead bodies everywhere.
Oh my god.
And like I'm like talking to this guy, there's nothing to see here, man. He's like, are you a cop? And I'm just like, no, Weasel News, you know.
Weasel News. Oh my god. And what did he say to you? You just like, get the fuck out of here?
Yeah,
Like,
that was when they stole my van. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they drove off with my van.
Damn.
They like I don't know which way they went with it, but they parked it like blocks away, you know.
Okay. Are you playing anything else other than that? Like, are you gonna play Resident Evil 8?
Oh, I'm definitely gonna play that. I've been trying to like. I feel like I might have to do like an extra stream here and there and just say screw it. I'm playing Resident Evil, you know, so like it doesn't mess with like. Because I mean, it's my job, so like if my stream does bad, then like, you know, my income goes down a little. So it's like,
Sure.
might have to do it like on a Saturday night or something where I play a little bit of Resident Evil. Because when does the game come out? Like 2 weeks? 3 weeks?
Yeah, I think so. It's like early May. Let me
I think it's like May 7th or 8th. Sorry, I know I've been talking a lot. I'll let you do some talking.
Oh, May 7th. Yeah, that's not that bad. That's 2 weeks.
Yeah, I never beat the 7th one, so I'm trying to play through that. I know it's like 10 hours or something.
If you play it like really fast, I've beat that game in 2 hours. There's like a trophy, like an achievement kind of thing. If you beat it in less than 2 hours, less than 4 hours, maybe, or 3 hours, like you can speedrun it pretty easily, like without being like a professional speedrunner kind of thing.
Nah, I'm asking my chat all the time, like, hey, we like somebody's like, oh, you were supposed to get a gun, that's why she just killed you. I'm like, oh, where's the gun? You know, somebody's like, it's in that room, so I go get it and play that again.
Okay.
So I'm kind of doing that.
7's pretty all right. I don't really remember if there's like much of a story that you like is really
Yeah,
critical to remember.
it doesn't seem like there's much of a story to it. It's kind of just some crazy family that won't die for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the and 8 looks really interesting as far as like
Yeah, this lady everybody keeps talking about. This giant lady.
yeah, I'm already like I'm not like afraid of that image, but it's definitely like if did you play Resident Evil 2 the remake by chance?
No, I have it though. Like there's certain games I think I'm just gonna play offline. Like when I
Okay,
finally get into
yeah.
a good groove.
Yeah, I feel that. There's like a mechanic in Resident Evil 2 where this guy basically follows you around the house after a certain point of the game
Mr.
and like
X.
yeah. So apparently that I don't know how to pronounce her name. I don't even know her name, but the the big lady that everyone's kind of you see
She's
everywhere on
like
the
that.
memes. Yeah, she's following you around like that everywhere. So I'm already like, and that was genuinely like in third person. I didn't think I'd be scared at third person for Resident Evil 2, but that part where like that guy's following you around made me like probably more terrified than a first person in some parts. Like I thought Resident Evil 7 was the crown achievement of Resident Evil since it was first person, but I don't know something about like I
I like
really
the
think they
first
did a
person a
great
lot.
job.
I like it though.
Same,
Yeah.
yeah, and the VR too. I don't know if they have VR for 8, but
They probably will. I think that was pretty popular for the seventh one.
yeah. And then you ever played Outlast?
A little bit. Isn't there a third one now? Or there's a third one coming?
There is. I didn't
I
know.
think so.
I have 1 and 2 on like a collector's edition disc. That game is truly terrifying. I can't play that alone. I can't do it. It's such a terrifying game. But yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to play something. I'm just excited for a new game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's bad right now, man. So stale. I just think it's funny that like right at the time that I finally was like, you know what, I'll try GTA. It like blew up. So like now everybody's playing it.
Mm-hmm. That's really good. I gotta get on that shit too.
Yeah, you
Keep
can
myself
definitely
on
run
that
with
thing.
me, dude. It'll be fun.
Have you played the story of GTA 5, or you just kind of
I
just
played a little
done?
bit of it on like 360, I think, but I never beat it.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Yeah, that
scared
one's
too because I know they drop a lot of N bombs. Don't
they
they?
do. Yeah, it's probably not the best to play it on stream, but if like they probably like take it out. Is it like you can't say that whatsoever, or is it like
I
depending
really
on
don't
like the
know. It's kind
race?
of a gray area, man. Like I feel like if it's part of a story, they don't really. They're like as long as you don't focus on it or like purposely like do it again, you know, like it's whatever. I think it's the same way with like nudity in games. As long as you don't
Yeah.
focus on it, because I know Cyberpunk that was a thing.
Okay.
So
Yeah, and Witcher has a lot of that too. Um, yeah, there is a lot, especially in the beginning. There's a lot of that in GTA, but I don't know. The other Red Dead 2, I don't think they have a hard R in GTA 5, but in Red Dead 2 because it's like 1899, they do have that. That's like pretty it's like once or twice that it happens, but there's definitely like some racial stuff in there.
well,
But
at that point, I feel like you could argue that it's the game and it's historical. You know,
definitely, yeah. It's
I mean, I've had it happen. Like I said, I've had people come up and start saying it really loud on stream. When I'm in a server,
oh fuck.
and so like I looked it up and they're like as long as it's clearly out of your control and you like try to avoid that person or like tab out so you can't hear it anymore, like they don't crack down on it. But like if you were to like if you didn't like say something about it or do something to try and stop it, then like that's when it's like, you know, kind of a gray area.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
but it pisses me off, man.
That is
It
really
happens
like
a lot.
so
Like
frustrating.
some guy came up because we were like work like we were like pretending to work at a gas station, and like some guy comes like, hey, can I buy some cigarettes? And like the guy next to me is like, what do you want? You want the Marlboros or you want? And like the guy just starts saying it super loud, and I was like, come on, dude! I like jumped over the counter and ran out, and he starts chasing me saying it, and I'm just like, I tabbed out, and that was right at the beginning when I didn't really know that like you could just tab out and the sound was gone, you know.
What the
But
hell?
degenerates, man,
That's so
it's a
stupid.
thing.
That's people who do that, like just like troll on people's streams is like just I think they're just jealous number one, but then also like that's Such a dumb thing to do. Such a dumb thing to do. It'll catch up to him one day.
There's little kids who come up and they sing like songs.
Like rap songs kind of thing, or like.
I think so. Like either that or like some kind of just like racist meme song or something. And like I'm just like, come on, dude. Like they know what they're doing, but it's a little kid. That really pisses me off because I'm like, dude, like he's gotta be a real winner, you know, that kid.
Oh.
You know, like he's gotta be an overachiever for sure.
He's going places.
Yeah.
Not college, but places. Not Comet says, yeah.
Yeah, it's disheartening when that happens.
So you said you played some games offline. How often do you have time to play games offline, you'd say?
If I do, I try to tell myself like the excuse is like I need to de-stress, you know? So I'll play like Warzone or maybe Valorant. I thought about hopping into CS:GO.
Okay.
But I think I'm gonna start playing some of these story games that I haven't gotten a chance to play. Definitely Red Dead 2. I need to start. I'm just worried that I'm gonna get addicted to it and then it's gonna start making my work suffer. So
that's what stopped me from doing it the same as well, like when I first started it. But it was I kind of really took my time with it. Like it took me about 2 years to get through, like off and on, and it was very like I finished it over the Christmas break from over the New Year from 2020 to 2021.
Yeah.
And the epilogue of that game really struck me weird, and it was like maybe because it was at the point of like the life, like my life where I was at the time, but like it's essentially, without spoilers, it's essentially about growing up and realizing what you want to do long term with your life and who you want to be really, and like what matters to you at the end of the day, in a very vague way. There's like subtle moments that it kind of hints at that, and I was like, wow, this is actually really profound.
Which
And
game?
then there was Red Dead 2.
Red Dead 2.
And there was this other one too. I played Final Fantasy VII Remake. That took me forever to finish because that's like the original was my favorite game of all time until Last of Us 2 happened, and the remake I took forever to get through. And there's this moment at the end of the remake. This isn't much of a spoiler, but there's a moment at the end where essentially the characters have left this city that has been under this steel kind of structure with headlamps under it that acts as an artificial sun, and that it never rains in it because it's covered by steel, and then like the lights come on when it's day and they come off when it's night, and the characters have essentially left that. And this girl, one of the main characters, her name is Aerith, they're finally at the end of the game walking into the open world, and it ends on the of like, now they're in the outside world, what's going to happen next. And her final line is like the rain starts pouring and like this music starts playing, and she looks up and she's like, I miss it, the steel sky. And then it just goes on to the credits, and then it's like, I was like, fuck,
that's the end of the game.
yeah. I mean, like the original is about like 50 to 100 hours long.
Yeah.
And that's like, that's not where it ends in the original game, but like they're splitting it up into parts for the remake.
Right.
So obviously, like, I think make more money, number one, but then apparently to fully flesh out every part of the game, which is, I guess, I don't know, we'll see how the others pan out. But
yeah,
that's the end of the remake, and she's like, I miss it, the steel sky. And I was like, fuck, why does that hit me so hard? I feel like such an idiot, but I kept like,
no, I remember last episode we talked about movies and kind of how those hit home, so I totally.
Yeah, it was it's amazing how at my age now I've noticed how much video games have kind of overtaken the power that where a movie would have had that similar power, where I mentioned like a line like that would have stood out. I'm now finding that it's video games that do that for me now, and I mean I'm okay with that. I'm actually really like excited for that, but it's just so weird because so many people will my like adults like my parents will be like, hey, are there any good movies to watch, or like have you seen any good movies lately? And it's like, I guess, but like I think all the movies that I've seen recently that have come out like in the theaters, they're just okay. Have you ever played Final Fantasy VII Remake or Last of Us Part 2 or Red Dead 2? Like that's really what I want to talk about right now.
Yeah.
It's so like it's weird, but
I was gonna say, speaking of movies, like, what have you been watching lately?
ooh, okay. Have you ever heard of Harmony Korine? That director Harmony Korine.
No.
So he's this
Give me some
guy that's like,
examples.
okay, he made Spring Breakers. I
Okay.
haven't seen that.
I've never seen it, but I know of it.
Yeah. I haven't seen it either, but he did this one called he didn't direct it, but he wrote it. It was his first screenplay. It was called Kids. You ever heard of that movie Kids? Okay, so it's like really kind of realistic, gritty, dark depiction of like dark, I'd say dark but honest realistic depiction of kids in their teens who just want to get drunk, do drugs, and have sex. And essentially that's the plot of the film is, a guy who has an obsession, who's like, 15 maybe, and just loves having sex with virgins, and then loves drinking with his friends, and then loves and he's just surrounded with this really gritty environment. And I
Uh,
watched that on a
I
plane.
I got on a plane, dude. I'm always like when I'm watching like I'm always weird about watching like I watched I think Shameless or something like that on a plane,
Okay,
and
yeah.
I'm just like paranoid, like there's like a scene or something like that, and I feel like this old guy or old lady next to me is like looking over, she's like, oh my goodness, but uh I was gonna say, does it would you say, have you ever seen the movie Shame? Michael
From
Fassbender.
Ingmar Bergman.
Michael
Oh,
Fassbender.
Fassbender. No, 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 no.
That's the one where the guy is like a sex addict, and so like it just he hits like rock bottom as a sex addict. Like his sister comes to visit, and like I guess it brings up a lot of his like family past, and so like he's really kind of like just and like he just hits rock bottom. Like it gets to the point where he goes to like a club and like just with some random dude like hooks up. Like it was really really depressing, really dark, but really well acted, and like it's really like I don't think I'll ever watch it again. It's one of those movies, but it was good, well made. Just a really like weird, messed up concept, but or topic that it covers.
Yeah, and like a lot of those, I have like a lot of movies that are like controversial because I like that. I've always been fascinated by what makes a movie like controversial and like like you're
And
kind of
yeah, and
you know?
there's a difference for sure. There's like directors who like kind of toy with controversial stuff, and then there's directors who just like they don't like hold anything back. They just go straight up. Like Midsummer, like that didn't hold anything back. That just went full. Like it's. I mean, movies that try to make you feel how the characters feel.
Mhm.
Those are the messed up ones, because like it makes you kind of like you're like I don't like this, but you're not supposed to because they're trying to make you like feel the way that the character does and understand
Mhm.
what they're going through. You know.
Yeah, that's like I love that stuff personally, but like a lot of the times there's a really gray area where that could come across like really cheesily or like just really
Yeah.
poorly or insensitive.
Have you seen Memento?
Yeah.
Like that
That's
one,
great.
tries to make you feel like you have short-term memory loss.
Mhm.
So like you're like, what the hell? How did we get here? And then it like connects the
Yeah,
dots. I
that
just
could
watched
be
that with my
so.
wife, and she was like, it was a good movie, but like the ending just she was like, there was nobody good in that movie. Everybody was a bad
Yeah,
person.
yeah, that's so true. Actually, it is kind of like it gave me such a headache, and it was like it kind of put me in a weird mood. I was like, I don't know if I am happy about this. I'm really confused, but I get it now. I don't know if I needed to be that confused and that kind of
I
angry,
mean,
but
if you go back and I've seen YouTube videos where they like put it in chronological order, And it's a really like dumb, simple story. It's just the way that it plays out makes it feel complicated and complex, but it's really not. It's just the way that it's portrayed. But I mean, that's Christopher Nolan. He likes messing with time, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, even The Dark Knight, you know, like he messed with like you thinking that Batman was going in to save one person and he ended up being at the wrong place, and like the way that they did the scenes, you thought he was showing up to save what's her face, and instead he's saving Harvey Dent, you know, like stuff like that. Just the way that he did it, you know.
I remember that. Yeah. God, I haven't seen Dark Knight in forever, but yeah, that is one of those moments that was really good. I used to love Nolan as like my favorite director of all time. I think he's great, but like
I still do. I feel like it's gotten to the point where it's hard to top his last movie.
Yeah. Which
you
one,
know?
Tenet or?
No, I'm just saying, like, it for him, I feel like every time it's like it's a struggle for him to top his last movie.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, of course.
Because when you just put out really good, like Dunkirk, I feel like it was one that kind of people were like, you know, there wasn't really a story. It was more about the event, and because of that, the movie was just kind of. But I loved Dunkirk. I liked it. Really simple story. One of his shorter movies, but Tenet was good, but it left me just going like, oh, okay, so that's like what was going on. Like, I feel like after Inception, there's not really a concept that blows my mind anymore. I think Interstellar blew my mind with the time thing, you know, the time dialect stuff, but
Which one is your favorite from his?
I've been watching a lot of his movies recently because my wife hasn't seen all of them. Honestly, if I had to pick one of his favorite movies, I think it's The Prestige.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. Yeah, I know.
Do you know the ending?
I don't know.
Then you okay? We might have. I think we'll have to watch that instead of True Detective.
Ooh, okay.
Because
I'm down.
that movie is something else, man. That was the first story that he had like the budget to tell. You know what I mean? Like yeah, it's Christian Bale and it's Hugh Jackman, and they start out as, I'll give you like the basic beginning plot point. So they start out as two magicians kind of working together. They're, you know, doing their stage acts, and Scarlett Johansson is Hugh Jackman's like lover, right? And they have this act where basically you know, she's in a knot and they put her in a tank of water, put a thing over it, and she gets out of this knot, and when they pull the thing over, she's outside the tank, right? And it's like, oh my gosh, she escaped, you know, before drowning. Well, Christian Bale is like, I think we should try this knot, you know, because it looks fancier, but you can still get out. And Michael Keaton is like the wise guy, you know, who like knows about how to do all this stuff and like how to make a good act and stuff like that. Like, you know, you present this and then you do this to fool them, and then at the end you bring it back or whatever, you know. It's like a 3-act part of a trick. And so he's like, don't do that because it's not a wet knot, you know? Like if it swells too much and she doesn't get out quick enough, she can't get out of the knot. And so they agree not to do it, but then he does it anyways and she ends up drowning. And so Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale just hate each other now. And so they go on and do their own acts, and they're just trying to figure out each other's tricks. And that's the setup of the movie. It is so badass. So underrated.
Okay.
But don't
So
look
it's like a
anything up.
competition.
Don't look anything up because everybody's going to be like, oh my gosh, the ending, this and that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm glad. I love those.
It's a darker
Things
one
like-
too. I mean, yeah, I would say it's pretty dark. Yeah, like it goes to a dark place.
Yeah, it has been a lot of like. Oh my god! I watched this one called Saint Maud. Have
I've
you
heard of it.
Saint Maud?
I don't know what it is, but I've heard of it. I heard the name.
That was ridiculous. It was such a ridiculous movie. It was. I don't know if you're religious at all. I'm not myself, but like I do think that like when you're anti-religion to a certain extent, it just comes across as kind of empty edginess, and like when you're praising it, especially like it's like, oh man, I'm edgy. I hate God. I hate everything that's religion.
I would consider myself like agnostic. Like I don't
Same.
Yeah, so I want to believe there's something. Like I feel like everything happens for a reason. I feel like you kind of you have to speak things into existence, stuff like that. But I wouldn't say that I was raised going to church and stuff, but something about just I don't know. It's always been something that I kind of internally struggled with. So I would say agnostic is probably where I fall in. Like I wouldn't say I don't believe in God or anything like that. It's just I'm kind of open to whatever. I mean, I'm not like Satanism or something, but like.
Yeah, yeah, no, that makes sense. That's the safest. Like, it's really interesting because like I was raised Catholic, and I think probably the most profound moment of my life, or like time in my life, it wasn't really a moment, was kind of letting go of that and letting go of that fear and like seeing like, oh my
Yeah.
God, this like world essentially, and I went to like a bunch of those, teen camps, Bible camps, and like I was the leaders of a lot of those too, believe it or not. And they always said about agnosticism, it's the lazy religion, or it's like it's not even a religion, it's just laziness. And it's like, well, I don't think it's necessarily lazy because there's a different way. The way I interpret it is actually a respectful way of believing in God in a way, because it's like why should this is really like into it, but I'll say it like I believe that if we're meant to love and respect God, who are we to define his being and every move that he makes?
Exactly. Like I mean the Bible is definitely one of those things where it's kind of, to me, it's always been weird because somebody wrote it, you know what I mean? Somebody had to interpret it and it was passed along, and who knows how much has changed, and there's just so many things. And then, there's, you always see those shows where they're like looking for Noah's Ark and stuff like that, and it's just kind of, it's interesting, man. But I feel like, and it might be a controversial thing to say, but I feel like it's kind of like religion is, it's one of those things that people go to when they're in a bad place, you know? And then the other thing is, I feel like if you're always worried, you're like, oh, I'm going to hell for this or this and that, it's kind of like over stressing and worrying about stuff. You spend so much time doing that, you miss out on other stuff. And like, I don't know, I feel like it oversimplifies stuff too. You know what I mean? To a certain extent.
Yeah,
So
it's very conveniently like taught and written and arranged and stuff like that. There's just a lot of like,
and there's so many different religions, and they all say that they are the right one, and it's just, so you're telling me that so and so, because they're a different religion, now they're going to hell. It's just, it's very,
yeah,
it's almost like toxic in a way too. The way that people go about it. I mean,
that's
I
what
don't
it was.
did you pay attention to the Dr. Witnesser stuff?
No, what's that?
So Dr. Witnesser was this guy who got banned on Twitch. Finally, he got banned. Like, a lot of people were waiting for it to happen, and I think he's on YouTube now. But he would go into Fortnite games and he would basically ask this, random kid he's playing with, do you believe in God?
Mm-hmm.
And then he would, if they say no or they say yeah, like he would basically like talk to them and like preach the Bible and stuff like that and tell them, you're going to hell for this. And like he straight up told one kid that he was going to hell. He's like, you're going to burn in hell. And it was super controversial, and everybody's like, he should be banned for this, because the way that it was to me was, my mom told me that she was like, it's like when we were growing up, there was a church where they had a van and they would drive around to like parks and stuff, and they had like an Xbox 360 in the back, and they would let kids play with this 360, take turns playing or whatever, but they would talk to them about the Bible while they did it. So it's something about it is kind of predatory. It's almost like kind of, you want some candy type of thing, but, then I'm going to talk to you about God. It's kind of, it just doesn't feel right. It's not the message, it's the way he goes about it. He would literally be like, you want to keep playing, you want to come to my lobby, and then we'll keep playing, and he'll keep talking to them, And he would get trolls all the time, though. People would come in and be like, there was another guy on Twitch who used to do that, but like a lot of people thought he was fake, because the way that like it was almost like he was purposely trying to make controversial stuff. People would join, and somebody would be like, talking about the Bible or something, all of a sudden they would be like, but what about this? Like my dog, he just shit all over the carpet or something, it's just something random. And start yelling into the mic and stuff like that. He backs out, so that was really funny to watch because the guy knew that was what people were coming to watch. So he kind of started to let it happen, but it got so toxic that he finally got banned, I think. But Dr. Witnesser was like this, but I feel like he knew what he was doing. He knew that it was controversial. And dude, I mean, there were people coming to my chat and they'd be like, what do you think of Dr. Witnesser? And I'd be like, I mean, I would tell him the same thing I told you. It was like the Xbox fan thing, like it just, something about it just didn't feel right. It wasn't the message, it was the way he goes about it. And there would be people who are like, well, if you don't like him, then I don't want to be here. They're like, well, see ya. Go hang out in his chat,
As in, like, you're an Christian or something?
Yeah, they would take it as like you don't like you're not religious, But I was like, no, it's just, it's like me going into some kid's bedroom and being like, hey, I'm gonna play video games with you and talk to you about God, It's literally what he's doing.
Oh,
Doesn't it like? Have you paid attention to the EDP 4445 thing or whatever? The YouTuber?
I just learned who that guy was.
Oh
yesterday.
man, dude! I mean, because I saw so many memes of it, right? And I saw a lot of memes of the guy. Like the guy was like this over the top, like like I'm not a bitch type of thing, and like just all kinds of stuff, going after women, trying to pick up women type of stuff. Like he was just like gung ho, tell you how it is type of thing. He had like 2 million followers, okay, and he basically got exposed for being a pedophile.
Right. Okay.
So and the person who did it, I guess he's kind of been controversial because he kind of rides the line of being a little too far with stuff, But he pretended to be a 13-year-old girl on Instagram, and they were messaging back. And I watched, Moist Critical. Okay, so he's a big YouTuber that I watch, and a streamer as well. And so he kind of went through. It was like a 30-minute video, and he was like, this guy needs to go to jail. And it was going through the messages, and there's so many messages where like he's talking to this person that he thinks is a 13-year-old girl, and it's getting very sexual, and it's just all this stuff, and then pictures, he starts sending pictures, and just the dude's definitely a pedo, man. And it's been really weird. And then when they confront him about it, he just tries to play dumb and play like it's not a big deal, but like he knows he's kind of screwed, Like it was really like hard to watch him, like what's going through this dude's head,
Oh.
But yeah, a lot of people are saying he needs to go to jail because like how long has he been doing this? Like what's been going on behind the scenes?
Is that the guy who was like, I was just going to get a cupcake?
Yeah, that's the guy.
Oh, that was cringe. That was really cringe. Oh man.
Yeah, the messages are bad, dude.
I don't know what the messages were. Did he like send like nudes kind of thing, or?
Oh yeah, at one point he does. But and like there's times where he's messaging and like you could tell that he knows that he's doing something wrong, and he kind of tries to like go back on it, But then he like goes back to like it went from like 0 to 100 really quick. Yeah.
I just feel so bad for those people. I don't get it. Like what goes through their head to where like they know that's such a forbidden and like frowned upon thing to do, especially with a platform like that. Like
that's the thing. It's like, well, what make at the size that he was, 2 million people, 2 million. I think he was at like 2,150 or no, 2,150,000 followers on YouTube. That's a lot of subscribers, dude.
Yeah. At least let that hold you accountable for like not doing that. Like, oh God, that's just.
It just makes you. It's scary. It's scary to think who else is getting away with stuff like this.
Yeah. In a way, you're right. Like, fuck, it's weird. Like, I never really thought about the concept of like pedophilia until I think I was like I said, I was very sheltered. So like I had a very innocent brain up until
Yeah,
like 17.
I get what you mean. Like you didn't know that there was people who just something's wrong. Like they just
Yeah. I
yeah.
thought it was like people who just like when they say like watch out for like strangers and shit. I thought it was like people that'll like kidnap you and kill you, not like do other stuff with you like that, or
Yeah.
like I had no idea the length of what true stranger danger like really meant as like a kid, and like God, the stereotype of like priests and stuff. Like I was around so many
Uh,
priests around and privately and stuff
did
like
you
that. I
watch
looked up to them.
Spotlight?
Yeah.
Dude, that movie messed with my head, dude. Because I was like, man, because I always knew that stereotype came from somewhere, but I didn't know that it was. I mean, my mom was like, yeah, I remember when that was in the news. Like they exposed the whole thing. Like the Catholic
Yeah.
Church is full of people like that, and it's just like,
Yeah.
damn, man,
That's
it's scary.
truly one of the scariest things, especially like
But everybody was just hush hush about it because it's like a sacred thing, you know?
yeah, and like it changed the way I looked at priests and just religious in general. Because like I remember I used to altar serve so much, like twice a week, every week when I was like in elementary school. It's like the ages of like 10 to like up until I was a senior in high school. Um, and there was many times where like you're changing clothes into the altar server gowns, and like you have to do it. Like there's no place to do it. You just kind of do it on the spot, and you just kind of assume like that's like the right place to do it. And it's like I now that I'm looking back on that, and it's like there's a number of things where it's like I don't
Some red
remember anything
flags.
weird happening. Yeah, but it's just like it's like oh my god, like that could have easily happened, and like that's very like I can't imagine the amount of people that had similar environments like that, or similar like who regularly
Yeah.
altar served and were
So
unknowingly exposed.
I don't want to get too much into it because I hate talking about this stuff because it's super
Yeah, of course.
controversial. But I'm scared that they're trying to normalize it, like it's just a thing. If that makes
Like
sense.
sexuality.
Yeah, exactly.
All that.
And that scares me. I don't think it will, but the possibility alone scares me that like they might try to protect people who do that and be like it's not their fault, because don't get me wrong, if that's just how their brain is wired and something, usually it seems like these people had some kind of thing happen to them when they were younger and that messed with their head. So I'm just worried that it would become I'm not saying okay, but it would be more accepted, and then people would get off the hook for stuff like this.
That is like
Because I mean, you got to think about it. Like, if something like that happened to Little Man, like I would want to kill that person, man. Like, it's just,
of course.
and you hear about that all the time, like the parent finding out and then killing the person.
Yeah.
It's awful, man. Let's talk about something more happy.
Yeah,
it's going really dark, dude. Bro. But I was just saying the whole the EDP thing. Like I was just like, bro, like everybody on YouTube is talking about it. So I was curious if you heard about it because I was like, damn, man, this is really messed up.
Yeah, I my roommate had mentioned it, and then like I saw like I guess the clip on TikTok. And
yeah, I saw it on TikTok first. Kind of brushed past it because I was like, I recognize the guy. I was like, okay, I get the point. Like he got caught trying to meet up with some underage girl, but then like my editor was like, dude, have you seen this? And it's like this 55-minute video where they expose him and like go confront him, like where he thought he was meeting up with her. And I'm just like, dude, this is way more, like this is evidence, dude. It's like, bro, man, this is like this goes way more into the weeds than I thought. Like, how long has this dude been doing this, But
yeah,
I think we were talking about movies. So you gotta watch Mortal Kombat. That comes out tomorrow. Which
I don't have an HBO Max subscription. Maybe I do, but I haven't.
it's pricey. It's like $15 a month.
It's probably my parents is what I would have to like. I'd have to hit them up and be like, hey, can I like have HBO? But like, God, I haven't sat down and watched a movie like that was new. Like I
hasn't been anything.
Yeah, except Kong Godzilla. I saw that in theaters, and I was a kid for that one.
I watched it. So Little Man loves it. He loves,
Yeah.
big monkey and dinosaur fight. That's the whole
Yes.
thing.
Yes. Good.
But I tried to watch because I loved the first Godzilla. I kind of liked how he was going for the whole. Maybe he went a little too far with it, but it was kind of like Jaws, where you don't really see the
Mm.
monster until like the end, really. Because I love that about Jaws, where like the whole time you're like, what the hell does this shark look like? And so it was kind of like that with Godzilla, but then it was like, dude, seriously, like the doors close and you don't see him, stuff like that. And like when Godzilla King of the Monsters came out, it was like the story was so cheesy, the acting was so forced, and then like I just didn't really care what was going on, like just it's just a CGI mess, and I just couldn't get into it. Little Man loves it; he can watch it every day. But Godzilla versus Kong was kind of like in the middle, where I was like, okay, like I dig the fighting, but all this going to the center of the earth, the hollow earth, and all this stuff, I was like, I'm just not into it, bro. It's not selling me. I'm like, there's a reason why this all wasn't in the trailer. Like they just want to sell it as a big monster movie.
Yeah. They're definitely trying to find their place, I think.
I
Like
don't
the
think there's gonna
article
be
said.
another one, if you ask me.
Yeah, of Kong versus Godzilla, I don't think so. There's
I just don't. I don't know if there's gonna be any more big monster movies.
Oh, you think so?
I just.
Yeah,
It's.
it's
I feel
we
like
gotta
they
find
they did
out.
their thing. I think they said the contract it's over now. So like, it's kind of up in the air what's gonna happen next. And with HBO Max, like that kind of determining like where it goes. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, there's definitely like I read an article saying like if they were to do another one, they're gonna have either no humans at all or like significantly less like humans.
I'm totally down for no humans.
Yeah, that would be an interesting like I don't know how you tell a story like that, but
Like I said, I liked the first Godzilla. I liked the whole Bryan Cranston being the dad and like the scientist and the military son. Like I dug that. I liked that a lot. Um, I dug the gritty feel of it, and I think that movie, maybe the director was different, is what it was.
yeah, it's the same guy who did.
Like I want another Godzilla movie from that guy. I think is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
There was enough story and like character development there for me. Not a lot, but there was enough. Like I
Yeah.
cared a little bit.
Yeah, it wasn't just mindless and like we need the motivation for Kong. Let's get the silent little girl.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, okay. Of course, the girl
Yeah.
knows sign language. Or the girl that
Yeah.
has sign language is Kong knows sign language. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. And it's like that's how they're appealing to Kong's like sensitivity because he's like it was beauty that killed the beast, and so of course he's like the one thing he respond to is the innocent little girl.
Do you like the
Thinks
Peter Jackson King Kong?
I absolutely love that one in my
I
opinion.
don't
I
I
think that
don't
was
I don't love
you're not
it,
crazy about
but I feel like it's one of those movies the guy was like kind of like Peter Jackson was kind of stroking his own ego. Like, I made Lord of the
Oh,
Rings, I could make an epic
Oh yeah.
movie about a giant monkey, Like
Yeah, I
the
used
whole
to
like the whole side plot with like them killing a bunch of giant bugs and stuff like that. It's like, what does this have to do anything with King Kong? It's just the island.
yeah.
Like it was more about the island than it was King Kong until the end.
What I liked about it was I watched the director's commentary for it twice, like the 3.5 hour director's commentary when I was in high school, and that was like one of the reasons that was one of the convincing things that made me say, okay, I really want to go to film school because of like those are typically pretty inspirational, especially when like the director like when it's a close to home work like that. And apparently, like the reason he did it was King Kong, the 1933 version, like the black and white animatronic one or stop motion, is the reason that he went on to make movies in general and for himself. And I was like, oh wow, that's so fascinating. He's like, and it's when I wanted to remake this, I wanted to give my whole heart and soul into this and give everything that I saw, all that wonder that I had from it, from seeing this movie as a kid. I wanted to give that here. And so that was like, I guess his reasoning for amplifying it to the max. Like, obviously, it's not perfect the way he did it, but like, I think there's some parts that like it was at least in the how do you say it like in just kind of telling the same principle of the story as in like Beauty Killed the Beast, and then the whole concept of like Carl Denham, I think is his name, like how they had like Jack Black be like a crazed movie fanatic that really wanted to make a movie and stuff. He added about an hour prior to 1930, the 1933 Kong started. I think it starts on the ship, if I'm not mistaken, the 1933 version, and then he added an hour like in between. Like he just told the full uncut story. But like, I don't know. It's an interesting one. Obviously, it's not the best movie, but like that one does have a special place in my heart. I think because of the commentary. Probably.
Dude, the fight between Kong and the T-Rex has like 100 million views on YouTube.
Oh yeah, like mouth and stuff like that. That's a classic. That's so iconic, dude.
What about the Snyder Cut?
I didn't see it. I haven't even seen.
Yo, dude, me and my dad, like my parents came to visit, and we watched that, and me and my dad were just like totally, like me and my dad don't really get into this. Like we'll talk about movies, but my dad is one of those guys that's like, it was all right. Like every movie's just all right. So if he says a movie was cool or it was good, you're like, oh shit, it was a good movie, you know?
Yeah.
And so like me and him are watching that, and we were just like, what? Like all this stuff, me and him are just, and then like my wife and my mom are just kind of sitting there watching it with us, like they're enjoying it. But like, we started, my dad was like, maybe we'll watch like the first half and then watch the second half tomorrow. And we watched the whole damn thing, dude. Like it was like, there's, oh, I don't want to spoil it. There's one of the coolest superhero movie scenes, unexpected too, that you're like, how the hell did they choose to do that over this with the theatrical version? Like they literally, like this whole character has a whole different arc, and like it just, bro, honestly, dude, I think it's one of my favorite superhero movies, and that is a lot. Because I don't like Zack Snyder. I've just never been a fan of his depressing ass style. Everything is always so depressing.
Depressing.
I like Dawn of the Dead, and Man of Steel was good because Christopher Nolan wrote it. But that's the only reason why I feel like Man of Steel is any good, is because Christopher Nolan wrote that movie and he knows how to tell a story and like build characters. And so he makes like the whole thing with him and Kevin Costner, I loved it. Like the whole like dad trying to like, like help the son understand that he's special, and then like he's on this planet for a reason, and like even though he feels like he doesn't fit in, that like it's all gonna make sense someday, like just that whole thing. I just loved it, And of course Kevin Costner is like the perfect like strong like elderly father figure. He's so like tough guy, badass type of dude. I love Kevin Costner.
Yeah, that guy is so cool.
You ever seen The Guardian?
The Guardian? No, what is that?
So maybe we'll have to watch that one too, because that is part of the reason why I joined the Coast Guard. That movie, I have a poster in the closet that I haven't put up, but it's so my job was to kick the rescue swimmer out. He swims over to the people who need help, and then I lower the basket. He puts the people in. I bring them up into the helicopter. If we have enough time, we pick up the rescue swimmer and fly to shore. If we don't, we say, you know what, see you later. We'll come back for you, and we drive, right? Or we fly away to the nearest airport.
We gotta hang in the water for a bit.
And so this is about the rescue swimmers, but it's like mostly based in Alaska, which is like one of the craziest places to be stationed. Like that sea is the Bering Sea. It can go from flat ass calm to like literally like hell, like 40, 50 foot waves. Just like you just hear about boats going missing out there all the time, because these fishermen gotta make their living, and they go out there and get hit with these storms, and they sink, and you never hear from them again. So it's about the training, and it's about Kevin Costner. He's involved in like, it was based off a real crash too. So basically at the beginning, they're saving some people, everything goes well. So you're like, okay, so this is how this kind of works, and then they go out on another case, and it's really bad weather. It goes bad. The crew dies except for him. And so like it's him with like his PTSD, because like one of his friend, which is the guy that I would be, like survives the crash, but he's all burnt and like fucked up, and so like he's in the raft with them, like waiting for help. And I mean, they're so far out at sea that sometimes it takes, you know, they got to get a crew to come to the station, change out, come up with a plan, fly all the way out there. Next thing you know, it's been 8 hours before somebody's come to help. And so the guy doesn't make it, and so it's like him wanting to continue doing the job, but he's like got PTSD from it. Like he watched like his whole crew die, you know. And those crews, like I'll tell you from firsthand experience, like everybody's like tight knit, you know. Yeah. When you're in that helicopter and something goes wrong, like everybody speaks up. Like it's, you know, it's not like, sir, there's a something. It's like, dude, fucking go up. Like we're gonna hit something, you know. Yeah. It's really, it's different than like any other military job where rank doesn't really matter. Wow. To an extent. And so you see him trying to struggle with the idea of like going back to do the job, but they're like, you're not ready to go back. You're going to train this class. And Ashton Kutcher is like the main character, but he's like, you know, could have went to college for swimming. Like he's just like the fastest swimmer, but he's kind of cocky. And so Kevin Costner kind of relates to him. And like you just kind of see their bond, and then they end up like getting stationed the same place and working together and stuff. And it's crazy, man. It's a good movie. Kind of like, cheesy, but at the same time really good.
Sure. So when you were into that though, like when you were active duty, what was like, did you ever have like a moment where you kind of like felt like a speak up kind of moment, like a kind of thing like that?
There's times, so like, yeah.
Is that like a daily thing, like every
not daily? Kind of no, it like there was times where like just stupid stuff. Like we had to fly out to this island to pick up these researchers, and when they hear that a helicopter's coming to get them, they think it's going to be a 60, which is those like the Black Hawk, but you know, it's our version is called the Jayhawk. But no, we're in this little French helicopter that has like super crazy weight restrictions. Like if we're too heavy, we literally can't take off, you know. And so they bring all this stuff, and they have like a big raft that needs to be repaired. They have like roof shingles, all their gear. And it's like two 6-foot, 220-pound dudes, and like just all this stuff. And not only that, like they have all this gear. And so I'm loading all the gear because it's just me it's me and two pilots. And so I'm loading up all this gear, and I can't move my chair. Like my chair is literally, if I move it, I'm getting stuck because I'm hit with stuff. And I was like, ma'am, we can't take all this stuff. And she's like, oh, we're going to have to like come back for a second trip. Somebody's going to have to send out another crew to get the rest of the stuff. I was like, if we crash, I can't get out of here. You know what I mean? And so like, you know, and not only that, this pilot was like the third in charge at our station. So she was like, you know, you don't want to like piss this lady off. And so for me, that was probably one of the biggest moments that I had to speak up about something. And I was kind of like nervous to do it, but I was like, I have to say something. Because this is ridiculous. Yeah. You know what I mean? Screw these researchers getting their free ride, you know, like, I was like, yeah. Training is probably, yeah, I threw a bunch of their shit out, and they had to send out another crew. Oh, good. They were all pissed off, dude, like, oh, man, like, you know. But, yeah. And that island sucked, too. Is they're like, could you not fly too low because you're going to scare the birds? And it's like, bro.
What the fuck?
Yeah, dude, I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, we're coming out. We have to fly 45 minutes to come get your ass. And then you're going to complain about disturbing the wildlife.
What are they bird watchers or something? Like, why?
They were documenting, like, the migration of all kinds of sea life and the birds there. So the whole island smells like dead fish, and it's covered in bird shit. And they have the audacity to be like, can you fly a little higher because you're going to scare the birds? And it's like, no, we literally have to wait because we have to get clearance because San Francisco airport's right there, and they don't want us to just fly wherever, you know? There's planes flying above. So there was that. Yeah, go for it.
Oh my God. Yeah. I've always like, I think it was because I didn't drink that much when I was in my earlier college days. And then like, there's like nights where like I did this one, God, it was stupid. And I don't even know if it was like allowed, but I did this YouTube vlog thing called The Greatest Rock Band Party.
I saw it. I watched it.
Oh my god, you've seen the whole thing?
I skimmed through it, yeah.
Okay. There was like, yeah, so we basically like that all happened live on Twitch. That's all pulled from a
That
Twitch
was
stream.
live on Twitch? Like, would
That
you
was
film it on
all.
your phone?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So that was like just it was one of those moments where like all my friends were like, yeah, you should just stream it like to your Twitch. And I was like, I'm so down. Yeah, it's a great idea. And then like it was obviously like there were some moments that we had to take off because there was an Air Force guy there. And I won't say I don't remember his name, but
The guy that
was,
I remember you were talking about, and I was like, damn, dude, that guy's opening his 12th White Claw or Mango White Claw or whatever it was, you know, because there's just all these White Claw cans on the table.
Yeah. So he had this full on like loadout essentially of like illegal military grade weapons in his like apartment. And he was like,
you streamed that? Like I think they've cracked down since the guy accidentally like shot his like ceiling or whatever, cut like a couple of years ago. Yeah, like I want to say like 2 years ago or something. Some guy was like showing off his pistol and he freaking shot the ceiling or something because he didn't clear it, and so
okay, that's insane.
now they're like, oh, you can't show guns on Twitch because they're worried somebody's gonna shoot their freaking neighbor or something, you know, live on there.
That makes sense. I remember we didn't stream that part. We had we filmed it on the phone separately. So I'm glad we didn't do that. But like it was like secretly filming too, because the guy was very like, do not show anyone this.
It's like all automatic weapons and stuff, like
it's like the night vision with the red dot sight. He had the night vision goggle. He had like the whole thing. It was like some fancy shit, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And then
it's not as it's not as fancy as you would think.
Sure, yeah. It was very like.
But I get what you mean, because like some of the stuff that some of the stuff I saw in the military, I was like, "Damn, dude!" Like, and it's like people don't when people hear military grade or military spec stuff like that, they think, oh, like that's the good stuff, and it's like, no, that's just like the easy to produce mass like standard stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like that, I get what you mean, like stuff that, you know, not like a civilian should have, so it's kind of yeah.
Because all I did was play Call of Duty, so when I see like a red dot sight or like a, you know, hollow scope, it's like, ooh, that's so cool. Like,
yeah, Call of Duty real life.
yeah. And so like my friend was all filming me. It's like, yo, Genie Boy got a loadout drop and shit like that. I'm like holding this gun, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So, God, it was.
Dude,
so...
I hate night vision goggles because we would use them when we fly, and you have no depth perception with them. So something that seems like it's super close is actually really far away, or something that seems far away is really close, type of thing. You know, so I hated wearing them. It always gave me like, I didn't trust them. You know, I didn't trust what I was seeing. But I mean, I had a pilot who found a guy floating in the water in the middle of the night, pitch black, because of them. So like, I just, as a flight mechanic, I always was like the guy who, like, everybody else kind of had them on, and like I would kind of be switching back and forth. I didn't have them mounted on my helmet, so like I could use them and not, because not only that, you have them mounted on your helmet, you had this bean bag that was on the back of the helmet to kind of like counterbalance the weight, but they still made your neck hurt.
Yeah,
and after
it's very heavy.
After 6 hours of wearing them, because that's the most we would fly.
So do you enjoy like kind of looking back on those moments, or do you
I miss flying. Flying was one of the, and it's kind of scary because so much can go wrong when you're flying, but like you get so used to it. Like that's where like the complacency comes in. Like there's so many like stories of helicopters crashing because somebody just got comfortable with something that they shouldn't have, you know? Yeah. So it's always been, and I mean the stories they tell us are like, yeah, like the whole crew was dead by the time they hit the water or something. It's like, what the you know, like that's not what you want to hear about, you know? So like, yeah, it's, and like every rule they have, they're always like, it's written in blood because some crew screwed up, and so we follow this rule so it doesn't happen again, you know? So it's like one of those things. Luckily, there hasn't been a Coast Guard helicopter crash in quite some time. So, but like I remember when I was in high school and they were like searching for one, and like I had already decided to join, so like I was like all about the news, and yeah, it was.
So you knew in high school, like senior year kind of thing, or when did you know?
I think I decided sophomore year. I was like, like film school is something that I would love to do, but it's expensive as hell, and it's not like I didn't know if it was something you really had to do, and so I was like, I don't know if I want to go to college for something else. So and it's expensive. I don't want to go into debt. So I figured I'll join the military, build some character, you know, some discipline, and at the same time earn free college. So when I get out, I can go to college for free if I want to. But turns out film school is not something you really need to do. So
It's not. It's
Yeah.
I'll say it. I say it many times. It's all about the friends you make, and if you already have good friends, like there's really no need to go.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It feels like I'm back to square one sometimes. Like maybe not square one like exactly, but it's amazing how much of that kind of bubble that film school puts you in. It makes you feel like you're a lot bigger than you actually are, and then once you're out, you're like, oh my god, I'm. At the end of the day, no one really
Yeah.
knows who I am. You know, it's like it's really sobering, but it's also very. It keeps you on your toes, but
Yeah.
I've been trying to kind of get back into it lately. I've been writing a lot lately again, so that's been making me a little bit kind of happier.
Dude,
I feel like when
I have an idea. A really dark idea though, so it's like I don't I don't know if I want to talk like it's an idea for like a story, like a movie, like a screenplay that has to do like it's about like a Twitch streamer. Or not a streamer, like a streamer, okay?
we need more of those. Please tell me actually.
I mean I could go, I don't want somebody to steal it.
Oh, okay.
I know everybody says that, but I'm like somebody's going to make something similar to this and I
got
you know.
I got you. It's an untapped
And it's a very long
streaming.
kind of I'm not 100% sure on a lot of stuff, so it's something we could chat about sometime later, but
Sure.
I'll say it has to do with like the news and murder, but
Okay.
it's kind of like did he do it type of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Involving a streamer.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
But
I've always been kind of there's something like before I was streaming, I always wanted to tell like a horror involving a streamer, but I don't know exactly how I would tell it. I think what it would be if I like a rough concept if I could come up with it offhand would be probably like a really young kid that really wants to stream and has a terrible setup and is like has like a 1 or 0 viewers and he gets 1 viewer in his stream that tells him to go to this website and that it'll make him like I really love it when you do that, dude. I'll tell all my friends like please go and then like gets them in this like dark shit like killing people.
so like I've also thought about like the younger like kind of like Stranger Things kind of group of kids, you know, type of thing.
Yeah.
But like like I said, this is like such a cheesy title, and when you think about it, you're like, oh yeah, that's like a cheesy movie that somebody could make, you know. But call it like live stream or IRL, and it's like them, yeah, and like stuff goes down, you know. I've always thought about that too. Like the idea that I had was more of like I kind of like brought myself into like the idea where it was like coming from like a family man type of streamer. Like what if Tim the Tap Man got accused of something type of thing, you know?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
Like that could go dark really quick, you know? Like somebody of his magnitude and like likeness. Somebody's gonna do it. Somebody's gonna do it. You know they are.
Like, oh my god! And then he has to become like actually angry and stuff. Like we see him raging on COD or something like that. We think it's like an act, and then like in real life, like you don't know if you can take him seriously or not, or like. Oh, that just gives me so many like wow, so many images. That's such a good idea. But dang. Have you ever seen Unfriended or
I think I've seen Unfriended. I haven't seen is it There's one where
Searching.
it's got the dude from Harold and Kumar. He's the dad. Searching, yeah, like you just said. You totally said it. I didn't think that was it. But yeah, I think they're making a second one.
I think
But
so too. Yeah,
I heard Searching was good. I just haven't seen it. Maybe me and the wife will watch it.
it is. It's worth checking out. It's very much like kind of a one-off. Like, ooh,
I
that was fun.
I love when you see these like comedian or comedy actors do a serious role. I love it, dude.
Yeah.
Because people don't realize that a lot of comedians, to go to like those dark jokes or like these controversial things and kind of ride the line of like telling a joke but not going too far, you kind of have to have like a seriousness to that, or else you'll end up getting in trouble, you know, like you'll do something stupid. So like almost like Jack Black and King Kong, except I feel like he didn't pull it off as much.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
you know what I
so
mean? Like, dude, have you seen Insomnia?
who is that? Who did that?
Christopher Nolan.
Is that like one of his? Is that like his second film?
It's like his. It's like his second or third, I think. I think it might have been before Batman Begins. So it's Al Pacino, and he's a detective with Hilary Swank in, I think, Alaska, and the sun doesn't go down for like 40 days or something, right? Or 30 something days. And so he's dealing with like trying to figure out what happened and like who the killer is and all this stuff like that. But at the same time, can't sleep because the sun doesn't go down. Okay. So like he's kind of like starting to hallucinate and stuff. And there's a famous scene in it, and it's on the cover where they're going through the woods chasing this killer, right? And it's not really a surprise. I feel like everybody knows. If you just look at the back of the cover, you can see Robin Williams is the killer. Robin Williams.
Wow.
Yeah. And I mean, you've seen Robin Williams do stuff that's more serious, you know, especially towards the end of his career. Which dude, Robin Williams is one of those guys. When he passed, I shed some tears when I read that. I was like, man.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah. But he's in the fog, and he thinks he sees the killer, and he shoots this person, and it's one of the cops. So he kills one of the cops by accident, and they try to make it like he fakes it like it was the killer who did it. So the whole movie, he's like dealing with the fact that he has this huge secret, like he's screwed up and he's hiding it, but then he's also trying to figure out who the killer is, you know? And then like, I want to say like, maybe like halfway or 2/3 through the movie, it's pretty obvious that it's Robin Williams, but like he's kind of toying with him. Like he wants him to like come clean about it, but he's like hiding it really well, you know, that like, you know, unless he does something purposely to reveal that it's him, he won't get caught type of thing. But it's good movie. I've only seen it once or twice, I think, a long time ago. So I might have to rewatch it. I think I have it because I got the Christopher Nolan director's like pack or whatever.
Box set? Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I have that for a Swedish guy that's like a lot more pretentious as fuck.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I love seeing comedic actors have to do like a serious role. I'm trying to think of some other ones. Like, I think John C. Reilly could kill it. I think he could absolutely kill it.
Is that the guy who
he was in Kong? Yeah, he was the pilot in Kong, and he had those goofy moments, but at the same time he had those serious moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the end where he comes home after being like stuck on that island forever, and he like sees his wife and like his grown up kid now, and then he like finally gets to have that beer and that hot dog, sits on the couch and watches the baseball game. Like that dude, he could totally pull it off, I think, if he really wanted to.
That's actually such a good point.
I think he's underrated, dude.
Yeah, I wonder if he's done that before. It doesn't make sense that he wouldn't have already.
I honestly like him more than Will Ferrell, because Will Ferrell is too kind of on the nose sometimes.
Yeah,
you know,
I can't see him being serious. Well, no, I can maybe a little bit. But
I think he did I think Stranger Than Fiction, which I never watched, but that was like a serious one. Okay. Jonah Hill, like Moneyball is fantastic, dude. Moneyball is great. I don't think my wife's seen that. I gotta show her that one, because Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill killed it in that movie.
He is amazing in that. And have you seen Wolf of Wall Street?
Oh yeah, but I mean, Wolf of Wall Street was like over the top on purpose, because it's how Martin Scorsese is, you know.
Yeah.
He was going for like the most F-bombs in a rated R movie and all this stuff. So.
Yeah.
But Wolf of Wall Street's great, man. I love when like Martin Scorsese. I think people don't give him enough credit, I think Quentin Tarantino, to this aspect, I think Quentin Tarantino is the best at music cues, like kind of using music with the story. Like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was freaking awesome, dude. Like when it gives me chills every time I see that scene at the end of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I don't know how much you liked that movie. I feel like as a movie person, you probably did.
I did. I had to get over like the because I went in with a lot of expectations, thinking that we were gonna see like Marilyn Monroe get killed.
Very dialogue heavy movie.
Yeah, I mean, I was okay with that part. It was the ending that like threw me off. I was
I was curious where he was gonna go with it. I knew he was gonna change stuff because of Inglourious Bastards, and like the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. To me, I went into it thinking, okay, this is like it's like a fairy tale. Like it did, he's gonna change things. But what was it? That scene when they finally roll up, like the Manson family, when they roll up in that car and what's it called? What's the name of the band? The Mamas and the Papas. That song starts playing as the car rolls up, and you're like, oh man, shit's about to go down. Like, because he did such a good job. We are totally nerding out. I feel like so many people like are checking out in the podcast right now. I don't care though. The movie nerds will stick around. They spend the whole movie making Brad Pitt this badass that like you just you're like, okay, he's gonna totally just like whoop some ass, and then they literally like as soon as he took the acid, I was like, oh no, dude, like he's gonna be tripping out when like all this is going down. But it was perfect, man. Like like when he's pointing the gun at him and he's like, are you real? And he's like, I'm as real as a donut, motherfucker. And they start laughing at each other, dude. I was like, bro, like
that ending was incredible. Like the climax, and then the flamethrower, and then like the whole dog thing, like and then the.
But yeah, I think Martin Scorsese has some of those moments where the music is like perfect. Mm-hmm. Like at Wolf of Wall Street when they're like, he was just trying to get away, and they freaking take the boat out when they're into a storm when they're not supposed to. And like the plane shows up and the music's all playing and the boat's like getting just wrecked, and like it was perfect. That scene just like I was like, bro.
Goes up in the background, right?
Yeah, the plane. He's like that was the only plane that could have came and saved us. He's like, and I'm not bullshitting you. That really happened. He's like 3 people died or something like that. I'm like, bro.
Yeah, that was so good.
Man.
That was such a good one.
He's like,
Steve Carell does an incredible
job. Dude. Steve Carell. Have you? I love Crazy Stupid Love. Where that's super underrated. Where Ryan Gosling is like the smooth dude that's basically like showing him how to pick up girls. It's such perfect casting, dude.
God, that is a throwback. And then Emma Stone back.
Yeah, and it's got that twist too. That like, it surprised me. I was like, I didn't see that coming. That the whole time, spoiler alert, Emma Stone's Steve Carell's daughter the whole time.
Yeah.
And Ryan Gosling's been hooking up with her. But like falling in love with her. So Steve Carell thinks that like this dude who's just like a chick magnet has been banging his daughter this whole time, so he's not cool with it.
I gotta rewatch that.
That's underrated.
Have you seen The Big Short?
That movie kind of rides the line of pretentious, though.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, like with the Margot Robbie stuff, that didn't like he could have been a little more. Like he was kind of like, all right, I'm not gonna pretend like you know what the hell we're talking about. So here's Margot Robbie in a bathtub drinking some wine, explaining this to you, and like it's like, to me, it would have been better if it was just like, here's some other famous actor, like it kind of made it seem like, all right, like you're stupid, so let's dumb it down for you. Where it should have been like, here's so and so, and it would have been like Shaq explaining it to you with basketballs or something. That would have been more funny. Whereas this was more like, I don't know, it just seemed a little pretentious. Because they did it more than once. I think they did it like twice. Mm-hmm. Where she explained it. Yeah, Selena Gomez, yeah. But yeah, dude, that movie, like, and again, Brad Pitt, was that the same guy who made Money? No, that's not the same guy who made Moneyball, is it? No. Who made Moneyball? I don't even know.
Yeah, actually, I gotta look that up, actually. I genuinely...
But that was Jonah Hill's, like, breakout role, wasn't it? People are like, he's actually, like, this dude is, like, not, like, just a throwaway actor. Like he can actually act.
Yeah, I think did he get nominated for an Oscar for that?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I don't think he
Directed anything else.
Bennett Miller. I don't recognize him from anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird. But have you seen Jonah Hill's movie that he directed mid 90s?
I have not. I heard it was good though, but it's one of those like super indie films, you know.
Pretty indie, pretty kind of artsy here and there, but like I enjoyed it. It's very coming of age if you're into that
Yeah.
stuff. But
Yeah.
it's like I love that.
So I like some of the more like indie stuff here and there, but like I'm definitely more into like the more mainstream kind of movies that go under the radar. Like they usually have like one big actor in it or something.
Yeah.
Trying to think. I was gonna think of one and then I lost it. Like I was gonna say like who's an actor that you think that's who Shia LaBeouf. That guy can act. It's just that dude. And I think some allegations came out recently, and I haven't heard any more stuff about it. I think the wife accused him of being abusive and like forcing her to do stuff.
Sure.
But that guy can act, man. Like he was great in Fury, but they say he's like just a crazy person, man. Like on the set of Fury, he refused to shower and all kinds of stuff just to get into character. Like he's a method actor, I guess, to a certain extent.
Yeah.
There's a underrated movie with him in it, but I feel like it I can't remember the name of it. Like it kind of got cheesy and a little too on the nose, and like it could have been executed better, but the idea of it really kind of like teared me up. It was God, what is it called? Man Down, I think is what it's called. Have you seen that?
Down? No.
So it's Shia LaBeouf, and it kind of goes back and forth between like him talking to who's the guy who played Commissioner Gordon in the Dark Knight movies?
That guy. Oh my god, I know his name. He played that
because he's a great actor too.
Yeah, he played that one guy in Darkest Hour that like
Churchill. Yeah, he played Churchill.
Yes.
But I don't remember what his name is. It's like
he's in Mank too.
But yeah, anyways, you know, so he's talking to him as like a military counselor, and he's basically like clearing him whether he's like fit for duty still. And he's describing like what he saw, and like his best friend died or whatever, right? Well, spoiler alert, because the whole movie it kind of goes between like it's the end of the world and like him and his best friend are kind of like trying to like get somewhere or something, like apocalypse style. But you know, so the whole thing, it turns out, and it's super on the nose, like you can figure out right away, is he's a homeless dude now, and he's got so much like he's so screwed up in the head from like PTSD and stuff that like everything is still like the military. Like it's the world's not really ended. He's just like kind of like wandering around the city with his dead best friend talking to him. And at the end, it's like they're trying to rescue somebody, like and it turns out like he's just trying to see his daughter. So like he breaks into like his wife's house, and the cops show up, and they end up shooting him, I think. It's super sad, man. It made me cry. Because his performance is just so good. Like just really low budget, you know? Like part of it was just kind of like cheesy. But like what he went through in like Afghanistan or whatever is pretty messed up too. Because like basically he was supposed to clear a room, and I guess he missed that there was like somebody hiding, and it just mowed down like half of the dudes there, and one of them was his best friend. And so that's why like they reveal at the end that like that's why he's so messed up in the head, is because he's kind of like blaming himself for like, you know, half of his squad being dead. It's a really dark, sad movie, but really good. And like I'm just like, dude, like Shia LaBeouf is so good of an actor, but just it's unfortunate that he's just gone down this. I don't know if it's just the fame early on as a kid. I mean, there was that movie, right, about him and his dad being like super abusive.
Yeah, Honey Boy.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but I did watch Peanut Butter Falcon, which came out right around the same time. And I was really hoping that was going to be like his resurgence, and then the allegations came out, and I was like, I think it's over, man. I don't think he's going to get any big roles anymore.
Yeah, Honey Boy was genuinely incredible. I thought
I
like
heard
that
it was
was
kind of like really, it's indie though, so like it's kind of hard to
it
like get
is.
into, but like not everybody's gonna be able to watch it. They're gonna be like, ah, this is weird.
There are some moments that like it's definitely really indie, but like God, I remember watching that with my girlfriend at the time in the theater, and like
He directed it,
there
right?
no, he just starred in it and he played his own dad. So like he like is recalling he's like playing his father like beating him as a kid kind of thing. And that was like if I have ever like wanted to cry like a baby, like that was the movie that I would have done it at because like it was just so God, it was like so relatable in some parts and there was just some moments where it's like, damn, that really happened and like this is
Yeah,
like
and to me, it's like I feel like that I gotta watch it. I think I started watching it, but I was like hungover or something, so my brain just couldn't
sure.
get wrapped around it. You know, I was like,
Yeah.
I can't watch this right now. I have a headache and I feel queasy. I was like, you know,
Definitely not one of those movies.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but I gotta go back and watch it because to me, it's almost like him saying like, here, this is why I'm struggling. This is like why
Yeah.
I'm screwed up in the head. Like this is what I
And
went
like
through. Almost like a cry for
yeah.
like, please understand, you know?
Yeah, and like it's more kind of like a really big lesson in empathy for him because it's like he wrote apparently a lot of it in rehab because he had like a big, alcohol addiction and I think maybe drugs as well.
I think he still
And
does, but
sure, definitely, but
yeah.
like he's far from healed and especially with the abuse allegations like it's definitely no surprise, but in a way, like you kind of see where it comes from. Like it's definitely not. I'm not saying it's okay, but like it's definitely like I said, I'm not surprised, and I feel
Yeah.
for him. I really feel sorry for him because like he's had a tough life, and he's who knows like the effort that he's put towards like making himself better or not. That's on him, but
I I
it
felt
shows a.
I
Go
felt
ahead.
sorry. I just wanted to say I felt so bad when I read the headline because I saw the trailer for the movie Man Down, and I think it went a little viral on YouTube. Like people watched the trailer and like this looks like a good movie, but
Yeah,
I don't know if it got like it just didn't get marketed well or what. But it came out and the headline was Shia LaBeouf's new movie sold one ticket, and I was just like, fuck.
no.
Yeah, and like it made me tear up. I was like, dude, this guy is like such a good actor. Like I had heard stuff about him in interviews talking about the stuff he went through as a kid. So like, I just feel for the dude, you know. But yeah, when I read that, I was like, damn, man. Like, I hope it's still a good movie, you know, and hopefully like on VOD, VOD, it'll do well. But I mean, I'm pretty sure it was like a complete flop. I don't know how much it was made for, but when I saw that it sold one ticket, I was like, damn. Like
That
him reading that had to be hard, you know, and for anybody, you know.
that is so like I can't imagine what it's like being him. There was a very fascinating music video that came out starring him and Margaret Qualley. They were dating, and like they're not dating now because the allegations. There was this very artsy interpretive dance music video starring him and Margaret, and it's a song called "Love Me Like You Hate Me," and it
I think I know what you're talking
shows.
about.
Did you see it
I don't think
or
I
did you?
saw it, but I know of the like I know of it, you know.
Yeah, that was so like because it kind of goes into a little bit of like not necessarily an abusive relationship, but like toxic and like an imperfect relationship, and like it's they're playing like they're a couple at the time, and they're essentially being there's a lot of nudity, and it's very vulnerable, but it's very like I don't know, like I can't interpret it because I'm not very like I'm not big on interpretive dance, and like I
Yeah,
think
me
that's
either. Like
really
it always kind of like weirds me out. Like
yeah, but I get the feeling of it. I get what they're going through. I get what they're trying to say. Like that's the surface level part of it's there,
yeah,
and he's
yeah. I
he's
mean,
definitely not one. What's
every
your thing?
time I see him get like a big role, or at least when I did, I always thought maybe like he finally got like back up on his feet, you know, everything. And so I mean, I still hope it happens someday. I hope that maybe like I didn't read through the allegations too much because I didn't want to. I was like, I don't want to like
Same,
hear, you
same.
know. So I don't know. I feel I'm not saying the guy deserves a pass, but I'm just saying that like I think the guy deserves maybe to redeem himself at some
Yeah,
point. You know, if he could get the help he needs and like I don't know. I just feel like the guy has struggled. You know, like I mean,
yeah,
dude, just ever since saw Disturbia, I was like, dude, this guy. I love the energy and the vibe that he gives off. You know, as an actor.
hmm he's
So,
very like
and that was a relatable movie because at that time I was kind of close to that age. I was like maybe like 3 or 4 years younger than he is in that movie because he's playing like a 17 or an 18-year-old. So that's the one where he thinks the neighbor's a killer. Remember that?
okay. I haven't seen it, but I know the concept. I
Dude,
might have
that
to
one
write
we
it.
might dude, I'm gonna have to start wwriting stuff down. We're just gonna have to do like
Yeah,
Saturday movie night. We're just gonna have to watch stuff.
dude, I'm
My
so
wife's
down.
gonna hate it because
I love.
cause she's like, you're not spending time with me.
Oh, she can join. That's fine. I'm down. But like, that's really interesting. He
Yeah,
is
no.
so like. Do you ever feel like we're in a place, or like we will get to a place where there's kind of like redemption from cancel culture, or like, do you feel like that's like?
I feel like there already is to an extent. Like Louis C.K. You saw everything that happened with him, and I'm not
Mm,
saying that what he did was okay, but I don't. He didn't rape anybody, as far as everybody knows, you know. And so I think that people are. I don't want to say giving him a pass, but they're like, okay, like, yeah, what he did was weird and everything, and you know, but at least he asked, from what it seems like, you know. But it's still not appropriate. Um, But it seems like he's been, at least before the pandemic hit, he was starting to tour again, and people were kind of like applauding that he like had the guts to come back. So I mean, I think there's definitely certain cases, but there's definitely like Kevin Spacey type situations where it's like, oh, that career's over, you know. Which, dude, it's sad to think that like, because I've even heard, I've heard stuff about Leonardo DiCaprio being. I mean, I'm sure you've heard that like he only dates like 18, 19-year-olds or something like that. So
I did not know that.
yeah,
Wow.
he's definitely kind of
I heard
damn
he
dude.
does like
So
NDAs before.
Twitch
Like,
like refreshed, Twitch refreshed on my screen because if I just have our call open, there's like this big
uh,
white thing, and so it's like really bright. Twitch
uh,
refreshed, and somebody's like watching a trailer or something like that, and a clown popped up, and it like startled me for a second.
oh shit.
uh, but yeah, no, there's definitely like one that really bummed me out. Did you ever watch that '70s show?
Yeah.
I can't think of his name, but the guy who plays what's his name? I don't remember his name in that '70s show, but he's Rooster in The Ranch on Netflix, which is kind of like that '70s show. It has like all the same actors and stuff, kind of to an extent.
I
Um,
haven't
the guy with the
seen it.
glasses and the one that's always like the stoner dude with the glasses and the afro and the sideburns. What's his name? But anyways, he had allegations come out, and I guess they decided that the Scientology church is gonna handle it. The Church of Scientology is gonna handle it. So I don't know.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Yeah. Is
because
that
he's a
Topher
Scientologist.
Grace?
No, not Topher Grace. He's the one with the one that always wore the glasses. He wasn't the main character. Topher Grace was the main character of that '70s show. Let me see. Um, IMDb. But yeah, I love him. I think that guy's hilarious. But then he had these allegations, and there was like no proof. But Danny Masterson,
Oh. Okay. Okay.
yeah, he had some allegations that like he went into some girl's trailer while they were both like drunk or something, and some other stuff. And there was like no evidence, but Netflix right away like kicked him off the show because he was on the show The Ranch with Ashton Kutcher.
I feel you.
But he was like half of the like he was like a chunk of the heart of the show, so it just did not feel the same without him. Because they totally killed him off. They had him like get it like so. What happened was, he was dating some chick in town, and the husband was like a creep and like had been to prison and stuff. And so the husband comes back and like just he's in his trailer one night and he's just like, "You better get out of town or if I see you again, I'm gonna kill you. And so Rooster just grabs his stuff and Rooster had always been like the guy who would like kind of crack some kind of wise joke, you know, but he just like shut his mouth and left. And then like the next season, they were like, they found his motorcycle or something like that and stuff, and it was like he had crashed, and they didn't find his body or something. So it was like they kind of left it open to like maybe he's alive, like maybe Netflix wasn't sure if they would bring him back, but they never did. They ended the show without him.
I see.
I think it definitely wasn't as popular without him, to be honest, because he was kind of like the comic relief for a lot of it.
Yeah, I remember reading that, that the guy from the ranch got kicked out. I had no idea that was just that 70 shows guy. But there's a lot of it's weird. I know someone who was canceled, like who was fairly big, and there's a lot of like kind of hearing what they go through. It's the suicidal thoughts, obviously, and then like kind of thinking like, am I truly a bad person? And like that was one of those situations like Louis C.K. where it's like they were just into like some weird shit. They were just like, a little kinky, a little weird. But it was entirely consensual. It was just down the line, that person they were doing it with was, hey, that made me feel a little weird at the time. And it was really, I agreed to it. We did it, but it wasn't, the normal thing. And it's, there's people who genuinely try to find redemption and genuinely like go through like the therapy, go through the meditation, and then kind of reawaken themselves in their life. And there's kind of, from what I can see, there's very little forgiveness for that. And I do hope that comes. But
so I think right now we're at a point where like it doesn't take much to just get canceled,
Of course, yeah.
There's definitely like a line, if you cross it, like you're done. And I feel like it's gonna get to a point where people are gonna be like anti-cancel culture. They're gonna be like, you know what, like we're done with people getting canceled without hearing the full story, because that's usually what it is. It's like you don't get the whole story until later on. Like I don't know if you saw, I can't remember his name. He was he's the Indian comedian.
Aziz Ansari.
Yeah, like I mean, the lady basically accused him of forcing himself on her, but then she came out with like, it was like she wrote this whole like thing about it, right, and like published it. And you go and read it, and it's like there was so many times where she said to herself like, I should have just said no. Like she said no, and he was like, oh come on, this and that, and then she didn't say no again, and then she acts like she kind of like went with it, like she kind of liked it but wasn't into it at the same time, like she just wasn't sure. And it's like, dude, like even yourself, you said you don't really know if like you should feel like you were taken advantage of, like maybe like you should have just spoke up more, from what I read. So like he didn't get canceled, but there was like a little gray area moment of time where like people were like, oh, is this another one of those cases, And I don't know if his show Master of None got canceled on Netflix because of that. It might have, but that show was, I could see why. It was kind of because Louis had his show. Louis C.K. had his show. It was kind of like that, where it was kind of like drier humor. Like it was just like goofy stuff. Like there was like a birthday party or something, and he took some kids like to go get ice cream, or I can't remember. It was some goofy little story, right? And they come back, and like, or no, I don't know if it was. I don't remember exactly what happened. I just remember they came back to the birthday party after it had all happened, and he was like, "God damn," because like the whole party is just destroyed. There's like cake everywhere and stuff, like these kids just wrecked it, like they partied too hard. But it was funny. Like it's just that little humor where like there's little moments where it just makes me laugh because I'm like, it's just so stupid, but it's funny because like they're taking like adult style humor and throwing it into like, like these kids freaking got wild or whatever, like
yeah. Oh my god, yeah. There was I think Master of None, actually they just announced season 3, like they put it out.
Okay, cool. So yeah, good. That was a really weird show because it kind of like, it didn't seem like they really had an idea where to go with it. I think the end of the first season, did you watch it?
I haven't watched it.
So like the end of the first season, the whole season, he's kind of like, it's very realistic. He has a book that I bought, and then that happened, so I never read it. But it was called like Modern Dating or something like that. It was basically how like people date nowadays with social media and like dating apps and stuff like that. And it was a very comedic take on it. Because he's one of these guys who's like he's kind of gotten famous, but he was like, he feels like he could still kind of relate to like normal people because he's not like so famous that like anywhere he goes, everybody's gonna be like, hey, you know, like recognize him right away.
Yeah.
So, it was. I read like part of it, and then like set it down, and then everything happened, and I never went back to it. But it was funny and relatable at the time, you know, because I was in the military and like kind of try to decide like, all right, so how to go about trying to like meet women, because like I'm gone all the time, you know. How do you explain to a woman, you know, that hey, I like you, I want to hang out with you, but you know I'm gonna go away for a month, you know, like it's a very weird kind of thing to do.
It is very tough. And like college, in a way, like I kind of had that vibe too. Like I had a high school girlfriend, and then we broke up in college for a number of reasons. But like it was a relationship that needed to end ASAP, and that going away sensation is kind of the make or break that either cuts off what needs to be cut off, or like, you know, the true nature of the relationship is kind of defined in that, you know, the distance. But
Yeah.
there was a fuck, I don't know if I want to tell you. I want to tell you so bad. Do you remember on the stream the other day when I was like, I gotta tell you this thing that happened? Can you remind me?
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that after this. I feel like we should
Okay.
probably end it soon.
Okay.
But yeah, no, like because I dated a girl when I was in at my first duty station, and we had basically started dating for like a month, and then I had to go on a 3-month tour. And so like I was like explaining to her, I was like, I don't want to go because like I'm worried that like, you know, this is not gonna be the same when I get back. And she reassured me that it was and everything like that. And I was like really like depressed about it. I was like legit struggling about it. I was like, I feel like I'm crazy thinking that, you know, that going and doing this is gonna ruin everything. But at the same time, I feel like I should be concerned, you know. And she just reassured me. And then when I came back, of course, just wasn't. She complained that I wasn't the same. And it was like I was just on a boat with like 100 people who just wanted to go home for like 3 months. You know, like it was a rough, like I hated being on a boat. Like everybody was just super Debbie Downer, and everybody was always mean to each other because they just hated being there.
Yeah.
So like that was like relationships are weird in the military, man. Like that's why you hear about so many people just marrying each other in the military, because they just want to like lock it in, you know, to feel safe about it.
Yeah.
It's definitely a stereotype, but I get why.
Totally makes sense. Yeah, no, that's like.
And people don't think about that, you know, because it's kind of like a traditional thing, you know, to get married, to like seal the deal type of thing. You know, most people these days are like not wanting to rush into that. So I feel like it's definitely more of like a traditional thing to get married that quickly. But I don't know.
Have you told the story before on stream, like how you and your wife met? Stuff like that? Like
Kinda. So I met my wife at church camp, believe it or not. And like we were both super young. Like I mean, we were like sophomores. It was between sophomore and junior year of high school, like during that summer. Okay. And so like neither of us knew what the hell what we were doing. You know, we were just kind of like flirting and stuff like that. And she lived in California, like 2 hours away, 2 hours 15 minutes away. And so it was like, is it worth like going through the trouble of having to go see each other every once, you know, like driving to go see each other, you know? Yeah. And we decided it was. And then later on, I was going to boot camp, and her sister had died. Her sister got sick from cancer. She ended up dying like after we broke up. Unfortunately, it was really bad. Like I think breaking up was just important because she needed to focus on her family, you know, and everything she was going through. Her parents also got divorced at the same time, so like it was just really rough for her. And I was going to boot camp, so I was like, I think it's, you know, best that we part ways. And both she didn't want to, but at the same time she kind of understood like it was probably for the best. And that if it was meant to be, that you maybe someday we would reconnect. And I'll be honest, I was like, you know, I'm gonna go travel the world. Like, you know, I don't see myself like, I was like, what are the odds that I'm gonna end up back in California? But I did. So Um, and we've been a little more open about it lately, but she got married. I think once I got to my, so I had saw that she got engaged when I was getting ready to go to North Carolina for like training, aviation training. So I had been in for like a year and a half. So like I was like, damn, she moved on quick type of thing, you know? But which sounds bad, but I mean, that's just how things are sometimes. Cause I mean, I was dating somebody sooner than that, so it's not like,
Sure.
I just don't want it to sound bad. Like it was definitely just,
I know.
every situation is unique.
Yeah.
And so she got married, and then I got stationed in San Francisco. I was there for like 3 years, and then my dog died, like my family dog. I mean, he got cancer, lung cancer, and like it was really sad because it happened right before my sister's wedding, and so I was hoping that he would make it to my sister's wedding so I could see him one last time, you know. And he didn't end up making it. So she messaged me and was like, you know, I'm sorry about Cooper and everything, and I was just like, yeah, you know, it sucks. And then we just kept talking, and then I guess she had reached out to my mom because it turned out that her marriage is like super abusive. Like there was a lot of bad stuff going on. And so I kind of stayed in touch, but I was like keeping my distance because I was like, you know, my mom has been through a bad divorce. So like it was like my mom would probably be able to help you with this and stuff like that, you know? And I had decided to get out, right? And I was doing deployments to LA. This is a really long story.
No, you're good. You're good.
But I was doing deployments to LA, and I decided, you know, hey, like I'm getting out soon. She was taking a friend to the LA airport because she kind of lived close to LA enough to where like the biggest airport was LAX. So she drove a friend, and she was like, I was like, yeah, like, you know, I'm on a deployment here. And she was like, I'm actually taking a friend like this Friday or whatever it is to go somewhere, you know, I'm dropping her off. And I was like, okay, like I'm actually like going to check out this like cafe or whatever, because I guess like a bunch of famous people go there every once in a while. It's like maybe I'll see somebody famous. That'd be cool, right? You know, just getting out of the barracks and like going to the town to like check stuff out, explore. Yeah. And she was like, I'm actually driving right by that. And so like we just met up and talked for like 10 minutes, and then she had to go. But like we both felt like there was something still there, you know? And then she told me everything that was going on, and I was like, damn, dude. Like, I hope everything works out. But we stayed in touch, and then everything just kind of worked out, man. Like, I mean, I was like, I'm moving to LA. She lives right by LA, and we just reconnected, and the rest is history, I guess.
That's so awesome.
It's different, I guess, you know, story wise. Like it's something that we were kind of like not sure about coming out about, because there's people come to my channel all the time and are like, how does it feel to be raising another man's kid, you idiot, or something like that? I'm just like, bro.
That's so retarded. That's so stupid. They can't, like you said yourself, saying that like your stepdad, like you looked up to him, that's the reason why you went to the military. Like that alone like speaks volumes of as to why like there's nothing wrong with what you're doing now. Everybody, like, you guys made it work, and it worked out now, and you're in the right place now, and you clearly have a happier family, and you guys are both happier than before ever. And like,
yeah, and I mean, both of us are still trying to figure out like who we are and stuff to a certain extent, you know? Like we both have our pasts and issues with stuff that happened, you know? Obviously her being in an abusive relationship still comes with like its, you know, like it's still there's things that kind of like remind her of stuff, and it like bothers her, you know. You know, like I guess I've never really gotten to anime, but like there's been times where I thought about watching, like, I was like, hey, somebody said I should check out this, and she's like, he was super into anime, so like that just kind of brings up feelings, you know, that she doesn't like. So like it just reminds her of like things that happened at the time, you know. And so like there's things like that, and then for me, it only happens when I'm like super stressed out, but there's been times where like I'll wake up in the middle of the night having like a bad dream about the helicopter crashing or something. So like we both have our things, you know, where like we're still kind of recovering from certain things, but
Do you feel like that brings you closer together though?
yeah, because I mean, we both comfort each other when everything like that anything like that happens, you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like it definitely takes a special person to understand like what you're going through,
Yeah.
you know. So I feel like I got like super deep, but
No, you're good. Like that's actually like it's a beautiful relationship to have. You know, there was my last girlfriend was weird. It wasn't like as serious as like I guess it's serious. I don't know. She would wake up in the middle of the night. She had and it was her first time being away from home, like from her parents, and she had been we were dating throughout grad school, and so in grad school at the age of like 24 or 25 she had kind of homesick issues. So
yeah.
we'd be sleeping in the same bed, and she'd wake up. She'd like, I want my mommy, like crying, and I'm like, sorry, what?
Yeah, you're like
And it's like obviously like that had a lot of like it was a lot of immaturity there, to be honest. And like I felt sorry for her in some ways, but in a lot of ways it was a lot of like she kind of needed to grow up a little bit. But like there's moments where that can either bring you closer together if it's the right people or not. And I feel like the ones that stay together through those things, it's very beautiful and worthwhile. But
yeah, but I mean, like the main thing is like, no, I get what you're doing. I get why you're talking about it. So like she gets really bad anxiety. Like she's had like she hasn't had one in a while, which is a really good sign. You know, like she's doing better with it. She's handling it better. But like when I first met her, like there was little things that would like cause panic attacks, and like she would just kind of have to take a moment to like sit by herself and kind of breathe, you know. And like, yeah, like that kind of sucked because it's like, you know, I'm trying to talk to her and then like something, like all of a sudden she has a panic attack and she's like, I don't know why, I just got super bad anxiety, you know, like it was just, I don't know, but it's one of those things that like, you know, we both kind of knew that like, you know, we just gotta stick together and work through it because it sucks, man. I mean, there's just the human brain is complicated, man, and there's a lot to mental health and psychological stuff, you know, that people kind of brush off because they don't want to talk about it. But it's real, and I think more people should talk about it.
I agree with that, 100%. 100%. Maybe that is the path towards redemption in some way, for just understanding people and like forgiving people. I think that's what we need to make trendy again, is forgiveness and empathy in a weird way. Not not like weird empathy, but like, you know what I mean? Like sorry, that was a bad form of words.
No,
But
I get what you're saying.
yeah, like I don't know, empathy towards like we were talking about Shia LaBeouf. Like obviously what he did was shitty and what he's going through is shitty, but like it's pretty clear that his behavior comes from a place of experience and experience that he
Trauma.
didn't want. Trauma, yeah, that's what it
Yeah,
is. Trauma.
trauma, dude.
And I think acknowledging that, being unafraid to accept that and grow with that rather than just shunning everybody. Shunning, I feel like, kind of just worsens the problem and it increases,
Yeah.
you know, things like anxiety.
I
Things
mean,
like
I've always kind of just like the military kind of teaches you like, you know, you just suck it up and push through it because that's your job, you know. And so like I never realized that some of the stuff that I was going through was anxiety. Like there was a moment when the first time I streamed and there was like over 100 people, and I was trying to read chat and decide what game to play, and then the game didn't work, and then my stream was being buggy, and I was having anxiety, and I didn't know it was anxiety because I just never really thought about it that way.
sure.
And I stepped away, and then all of a sudden I just got this like my heart started racing, and I got this like really bad butterfly feeling in my stomach, and then like I was like kind of breathing like weird and having a hard time catching my breath. And I had told them that I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go use the restroom and I'll be back, you know. And I came back and I was in tears and I was like, guys, like, I think I just had an anxiety attack, because that's what my wife said. She's like, I think you have an anxiety attack. Like maybe you should like end the stream. And just seeing the chat be like, no, everything's okay. Like we understand. Like, you know, it's a lot, and you know, you've never, you know, you're new to this, and just, I mean, they knew that there was a lot going on. Like I just got out of the military, and everybody everywhere is having a hard time, like with jobs and COVID, and just there was so much up in the air that everybody was super understanding. Like, you know, if you want to end the stream, like you can. And I was like, you know what, like you guys understand, so, you know, I feel better about that. I felt like I was having to hide it, and that's why it made it worse, you know. And it never happened since then. But like just the acceptance that like it's okay to say that like you're overwhelmed, and people tell you it's okay, is a lot, you know. And I feel like a lot of people just never speak up. So that's always motivated me. It's like they were there when I needed them to be. So whenever somebody comes in and says, you know, I'm having a bad day or this and that, I'm like, what's going on, man? You know, you know,
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here. Instead of, you know, doing something else.
What a moment. That's so beautiful.
I felt like such a bitch too. Like I was like, God, like I'm like, there's literally the tears going down my face in front of like you know 100 and something people. And I questioned too. I was like, maybe I'm not meant. You know, I've always like had a hard time like public speaking and stuff. So like I was like, just overwhelmed with how many people were trying to talk and trying to answer questions and stuff like that. And now I've gotten so comfortable with it. You know.
Yeah.
Somebody starts spamming, and I'm just like, hey, calm down. Yeah. You know, it's like, like,
yeah. Asking the same question for the millionth time. Hey, how was the Air Force? I wasn't in the Air Force.
Yeah. Now everybody says, how was the Army? And I'm like, bro, I don't know. Yeah. I'm just like, I don't know. You know, like, or they're like, I wasn't in the Army.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, it pisses me off so much. People come in like, you ever shot anybody? I'm just like, what the fuck, dude?
You ever killed a man?
Yeah, yeah. And I always have to get real about it. I'm like, no, like, cause there was some guy who called me out on TikTok saying that I was stolen valor, and I was like, look, dude, just because I wasn't, yeah. I was going like back and forth with this guy in the comments, and he was like, you know, that he shot people, and I was like, look, dude, just because I wasn't getting shot at doesn't mean I wasn't pulling bodies out of the ocean, you know. Like it just because I wasn't shooting at somebody or getting shot at doesn't mean I didn't see shit, you know.
That is like.
And I was like, obviously this person has something going on. Like I was like, dude, get help, because like if you do this to other people, there's something something's wrong, dude. You don't just go to every freaking veteran's TikTok and call them out, say you want to see their DD-214, you know.
The fuck?
Yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna dox myself, dude. And he's like, well, I'm looking you up in every system and I can't find you. And I'm like, it's because you don't have my real name, numbnuts. And he's like, oh, I have your real name. You want me to tell everybody? I was like, are you threatening to dox me? Because that's a crime. And he shut up.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it pissed me off. Cause his TikTok, he had like 3 videos, and it was him shooting boars and then cleaning his guns. And so the TikTok was like, am I supposed to be cleaning my guns on TikTok? Like, is that what a veteran's supposed to act like? You know, like, do I have to act like that because I'm a veteran? You know. And it was funny because his bio said like last account got deleted at 30,000. I was like, maybe it's banned at 30,000. I was like, maybe it's because you're violating community guidelines. Like you're literally shooting animals on your TikTok.
Oh,
like, dude.
Oh, what? Is
yeah.
Live, like the boar is getting shot in his TikTok?
It was literally night vision. Like, yeah. Like night vision, like shooting a boar out in a field.
What do you expect? What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh my god.
And like his video about the guns, like cleaning his guns, was like polishing like the killing machines or something like that. Like super dark, bro. I was like, bro, this guy, no offense, I don't know if this guy should have a gun. Like it really bothered me. I was like, not only that, dude, he was like, I'm gonna stalk every single one of your TikToks until you show proof that you're a veteran. I was like, oh really, dude? You know? So that's why I made that TikTok, because I was like, if this dude really does start getting crazy, like at least everybody knows about it, you know?
Yeah.
Guy can't get away with anything. Because you never know what people on the internet are gonna, like, what extent they're gonna go to mess with you.
Does it worry you as you like grow that like that could happen or no?
Yeah, but I mean, like, I feel like I've educated myself enough on like what things have gone wrong with other streamers that I feel like everything will be all right, you know?
Yeah.
Like, getting swatted is definitely one of those things that like everybody's scared of. But I mean, I talked to like the local police department and the sheriff's offices and filed a report, you know, because stuff has happened where people have like threatened. And I was like, hey, I'm a streamer, you know, and I've had documented threats and stuff like that. And so hopefully the idea is that if somebody calls in something, then that report gets generated. They see that and they go, okay, so like this guy's had issues before. He's a streamer. Like somebody might pretend that, you know, just to do that to somebody. So it's basically the difference, hopefully, between them sending a SWAT team and instead just sending like 2 officers to be like, hey, can we look around? You know?
Yeah.
So we'll, you know, I don't know. It's scary, but at the same time, it's like, as long as you're just cooperative, you know, everything's fine. Because it was just the one guy. There's been a couple cases where somebody was like, what's going on? You know, this, that, and like not cooperating, and like somebody got shot. And so like, that's why it's just been such a big thing. And that's why it's a crime now to SWAT somebody. Like if they find out who did it, that person, it's a felony, I think.
So you had threats already?
People have said like in the Twitch chat, the Automod catches it, or like a TikTok comment, where like they'll say like, you know, I'm gonna come to your house and like kill you or something like that. Or like there was a time where somebody said they were gonna like come rape my wife or something, and I'm just like, bro, like it's just the internet, dude. The internet is just, I mean, for every like 100 good people, there's one person who just wants to take out all their negative shit on you. And it's unfortunate, but I mean, it seems like it's getting worse, to be honest. Like it's becoming normal for people to just do that. But what are we supposed to do? You can't stop it.
Yeah.
As long as they can hide behind a name. You know, as long as they can hide behind a screen name on the internet, it's going to happen.
You did the right thing though to like call the police department.
And I mean,
know, well, that's.
But yeah, no, it's definitely as my community has grown, it's like, you know, there's also gonna be just as many bad eggs out there that try to mess with you. So it's just one of those things you got to keep in mind. But
there's more good than bad.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I would say there's like probably 10, 100 times more like good out there than there is bad. If I have one TikTok where like there was a TikTok where my wife got this water dispenser, right? It's like a little electronic battery power, like you charge it and it dispenses water from the 5-gallon jug. And the idea was like in the middle of the stream, I don't have to run downstairs to fill up my water, right? And so like she brings it in and like, hey, I got you something. I'm like, oh, cool, you know? And it's like, oh, like I pull it out and I see that it's rechargeable. So like, this thing's pretty high tech, you know? And like the comments, it was literally like 5,000 comments of people saying like, I bet that room smells like farts. Like if deodorant was, or if like, just like weird stuff. Like if something was a person, you know, like if moldy cheese was a person, all kinds of stuff like that.
Talking about you or the water thing?
About me.
What the fuck?
Like basically just saying that like I'm a weirdo, you know, like a nerd. But it's funny because like you know, I look at the comments and I'm like, all right, well, I'm not reading the comments on that video because it's literally just nothing but that. And then there'll be like one person, like I'm scrolling through the comments, there's one person, you guys are messed up. You know, like like all the
Yeah.
comments, you know, like people from my community are like, this is screwed up. Like you guys, you know, and like, I mean, you have a video go viral like that, and what can you do? I mean, the way I looked at it was just like, hey, that's, you know, that sucks, but that video made like $100. Like who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why I honestly, and I feel bad about it, but I really don't read TikTok comments as much as I used to, because there's just, TikTok is just so much, the comment, people go out of their way to comment something just to like, you know, take a jab at you. I mean, I had somebody yesterday during the event, in another streamer, TikToker. I'm not gonna say who, because I know he's just, you know, somebody who's just a little younger, doesn't really know what, you know, how everything works yet. But he basically said he saw that I had like 1,000 viewers, right? He's like, because somebody sent me the clip, and he was like, Danny DeRito had, I tweeted about it too. He was like, Danny DeRito has 1.3K viewers. Like, how the fuck does he have that many viewers? Like, don't get me wrong, I love Danny DeRito, but he's not that good of a content creator. And was just like going on, and like there was one person that I saw, because they sent me the clip and I see the chat too, who was like saying like, yeah, like he just like, they said that guy's lucky because if his kid wasn't in his videos, he would be fucked. That's what he said.
Fuck that guy, dude.
So I looked up this guy in my chat, and I was like, followage at the guy who was like talking to him, and it said like following for like 27 days. I was like, yeah, you're banned. But I just banned his ass. I was like, if this guy's in somebody else's chat like saying shit like that, like he doesn't belong in here.
Yeah. Fuck
but no, I tweeted. I don't know if you're on Twitter a lot. Do I follow you on Twitter? Do you have a Twitter? You have a Twitter.
I have like a very inactive Twitter.
So I made an effort to tweet more on there, because like it's kind of fun to just like kind of put out like what you think about something, and then see people say like, yeah, that's bullshit. Like, yeah, I think that way too, you know?
Yeah.
There's also a lot of drama on there, but like I tweeted that quote. It was just like, don't get me wrong, I love Danny DeRito, but he's not that good of a content creator. And I put the Jack Sparrow gif, and he's like, but you have heard of me.
Holy shit. Well, that's so shitty though they did that, but like at the end of the day, that's the right decision to tweet about it like that.
Yeah, because I mean, like I was like, this pisses me off. I want to tweet about it, because like I feel like people do that, you know. And I try to be more active on Twitter. So I was like, how can I go about this where like it expresses how I'm feeling, but at the same time, it's like I really don't care, dude. You know.
You hate me because you ain't me.
Not even that, dude. It's just like, I mean, it's super easy to look at somebody who's doing like better than you and hate on them, because you're like, how is that person, you know? But I mean, he doesn't know how he doesn't know how hard I work, and like how late I stay up every night to make sure that I get at least one YouTube video on YouTube every day and stuff like that, you know? Not only that, I have a family, dude, on top of everything, you know?
That's the biggest thing. Yeah. That's like every time I'm like thinking to myself, oh my God, I have no time for anything. I think I'm like, oh my God, there are so many other content creators out there that have fucking families, literally multiple kids, and do it still somehow. But
like I said, I think a lot of it is just not getting comfortable. A lot of it is consistency, and the most important thing is whether it's really in your heart and it's something you want to do.
Yeah.
I'm not the best at video games. Sometimes I have days where I'm not in the best mood. But the biggest thing is that I know that every time when I go live, I know that there's people there who are looking for a place to come hang out and escape from some of the bad shit that's going on in the world.
Wow. Yeah. Exactly.
And so that keeps me motivated to keep doing it when I don't want to. And I'm not saying like you should stream when you're really not feeling it, but like today, there was a time where I was like, man, like people are being super toxic. I mean, it's hard to not like, you know, go check something and you see your viewer count and you're like, that's lower than it usually is. But I knew it was because of the Warzone event. Everybody's doing it. And like, so like I look at that and it kind of bums me out a little bit, you know, especially with the people like talking crap for no reason. But then like the last hour of the stream, Electric Shock, one of the YouTubers that I met, that's like, he's like, they call him like the king of G Fuel on YouTube. Like he started G Fuel reviews on there. I saw he was on, so I went into his YouTube channel. I was like, hey man, you want to party up? And then me and my chat and him and a couple other people, we're just talking about G Fuel for the last hour and killing people in Verdansk. And it was like, I've had so much fun for that last hour. I didn't want to get off.
Damn, that's awesome.
And like Nick Merckx and Tim the Tapman were like, had like gotten off or switched to just chatting, and like all the big streamers were getting off because it was starting to get late where they are. And so like the viewer count was going up, and I was like, dude, I bet you if I stay on, like we'll just like chill and like, you know. But I was like, I got to do the podcast because I got to get it done. I don't have no. I wanted to, and not only that, I was trying to get Danny Bartok on. I don't know if you know Danny Bartok. People get me and him mixed up because we're both Danny. But he just made partner on Twitch, so he's doing like a partner 24-hour stream. So he, you know, I feel the same way. Like I hit 2 million and was like, I feel obligated to celebrate this because it's a huge milestone, you know. And so like I totally understood. I was like, well, we're scheduled for next week, and then I was like, I bet you if I hit up Genie Boy, it's been a while. I bet you he'd want to catch up. So
down. I'm always down.
I'm not saying you're like my fallback, but like I enjoy talking to you, and it's like I feel like it's two buddies just shooting the shit.
Yeah, dude, thank you. I really gotta go pee one more time.
Okay.
I'll be right back. I'm like about to burst out here.
I gotta pee too. It's all good.
Sorry about that.
It's all good. I had to pee too, so.
All right. I'm a little fucked up. It's okay. I'm just like, I was like standing there, and I was like, wow, this is taking a while. Oh my god.
Oh, to pee, yeah. Like, damn, that's a lot of pee, dude.
Yes. I was like, should I pee harder? Like, should I go? Oh my god, that was a moment.
Bro, I don't care. This is my podcast. I'll talk about whatever I want. You ever pee like you're trying to hurry up and like you pee really hard? And you're like, man, I feel like I'm gonna hurt myself. Like, pee, like,
like. I just had that moment. Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Yes, exactly.
Like, yes, it almost it's the pee's coming out so fast it almost kind of like stings a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah, let me slow it down a little bit.
Yes. Oh my god. Yeah, and I'm wondering, what if that like doesn't help me? What if that like does more harm than good? That's what like I had exactly that moment. I like stopped myself. I was like, just slow down.
Yeah,
it's fine. You're just chilling.
Dude, I like one of my biggest fears, and like it's the only reason. Like I feel like every time I get like worried about it again, I just start drinking a ton of water. I'm always worried about kidney stones, dude. Like that sounds like one of the worst things ever, dude. They say it's worse than childbirth.
Yes. I always think like I have like whenever I feel like a bubbly thing down there, or just like any kind of discomfort, I'm like, is it happening?
like when I was weightlifting, sometimes I would like pull something a little bit or like overstrain something, and like sometimes like my lower abdomen, like I would have a little like little sharp pain. I'm like, is that where my kidney is? Start freaking out.
Dude, oh my god, the worst time it happened, I was on this film shoot where I was like trying to shoot this, I was like directing and everything, and I was like, guys, I can't like walk straight because I was like, I feel like this sharp feeling down here. And everyone's like, Ben, you've been going to In-N-Out every day. You've been drinking nothing but Coke every day. I see. Dude, you it's kidney stones, Ben.
Every time I have anytime I have like a scare like that, I'm like, bro, I had 2 candy bars. Not just one, I had 2. That's a lot of sugar. Like I probably should, I had that milkshake, that's a lot of, and I'm just like, is this the day? Am I gonna be crawling out of the bathroom, babe, call 911?
Oh my god, I felt so alone for the longest time. I've actually started drinking less soda because of it, and it's like I don't even drink soda because like
I don't drink regular soda. Ever since I drink diet, like I drink like Coke Zero, Dr. Pepper Zero.
Oh, okay.
It's like it's the biggest thing is the sugar, and then sodium. The only time you have a problem with sodium is if I think kidney stones are usually sugar or calcium, and I think the biggest thing is like you just like I think people who drink like a shit ton of milk, like they're just drinking way too much milk all the time. They're drinking like a gallon of milk a day or something. Like that can cause to like build up calcium, in your kidneys. But usually you got to drink more water than you do other stuff. Like as long as it's like, all right, I had a soda, I need to have at least a glass of water. The equivalent of that soda and water. So as long as you do that, I feel like you're fine. But I mean,
I definitely don't do that, but I will start to do.
I mean, these dudes who sit at their desk all day playing video games or watching YouTube and they go through like a 2-liter Mountain Dew, those are the guys that should really be worried about it, because that's so much damn sugar. Like,
oh yeah, 2 liters is, ugh, I can't imagine.
Mountain Dew is like the sugariest soda, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I have a lot of Red Bull. That's my vice. I can't like
sugar-free, dude. Sugar-free Red Bull's delicious. I mean, it's not as good as G Fuel, but it's like before I discovered G Fuel, I think I was having sugar-free Red Bulls and occasionally like the Monster Zeros. Oh,
Monster Zero. I haven't heard of that.
Like I said, G Fuel's better, more bang for your buck.
Yeah.
Like a Monster is like I think you can get like 2 for $4, but I mean you can get the cans are definitely a little more pricier because they're harder to get in stores. Like it's hard to find them unless you're on the East Coast right now, but it's supposed to change this year. Like they're supposed to have them like everywhere, hopefully. But I mean, everybody's like, "Damn, dude, like $36 for a tub of G Fuel." And I was like, "Use code Danny D, save you some money." And then you're getting 40 servings of this energy drink that has usually more caffeine than these cans do. For less than $1 a serving, whereas a can, like you go get a Red Bull, that's gonna be like $2 at least.
Exactly. That's like.
And I think
like 4 for Red Bull, like for one.
Jesus, will you get the big cans?
Like the 12 ounce,
oh.
Just at like a gas station. Yeah.
But yeah, well, you're also in LA, so everything's super expensive. Dude, I'm telling you, just come to Albuquerque, dude. We could take over the film industry over here, and then and it's gonna save you so much money, dude.
I tell you what, let me seriously look into that, because like my game plan right now, this is like a whole different tangent, but like. I'm trying to make a part of like my day job is like I'm trying to save up for a big short film that like is my I'm working on this screenplay right now. It's like I'll
be in your short film.
Yo, that would be cool. Actually, I could give you a report, but I want to put about 35,000 into a short film, as far as like, and that's like a very substantial budget. That's like shooting on like 16 or 35 millimeter film.
Yeah.
Getting an actress and an actor that can.
Dude, you know what I've always wanted to do, because I'm always insecure about my ideas and stuff. I'm like, I mean, you see some of the stuff that like Christopher Nolan and his brother wrote together, or like some of his most like thought out stories. I think The Prestige they wrote together. Yeah. I've always wanted to try writing a story with somebody else and like bounce ideas off each other, and like I feel like things just. Because it's kind of like a writer's room, except in a writer's room, they're usually not like close friends, most of the time. Yeah. So I think it'd be different if like 2 friends try to write something.
I've done it, like I did it recently with a short film, and it was like, it's a little good. I mean, I feel like I was definitely calling the shots, and like, I noticed I was kind of shutting down every single one of his ideas, and I'd be like, but what if we did it this way? And then it was like, oh yeah, that's really good. That's really good. And we just like settle for like my way. For like every scene.
This is I
hate myself for it, but yeah,
this is the way my brain works. I try to like whenever I've written like shitty screenplays, just try to like get stuff out, because I feel like eventually I'll have enough stuff written where I can put it all together, and I could take ideas from everything and kind of form something that's interesting. Yeah. The way that I think about scenes is like, how can I do this where like I got to think that there's a budget. Like I can't just like have some extravagant thing happen. Like it has to be thought out with like a very carefully thought out camera angle and stuff like that. Because even if I were to direct something, I'm pretty sure it would not be a blockbuster. Like I'm going to have budget constraints and stuff. You got to think about it from that short film kind of aspect. You don't have extravagant budgets and stuff, probably limited people, It's like, I don't know. Like, to me, if like something sounds way too crazy, I'm like, is there a way we could do that where we can actually do it? It's not going to be like too complicated, Yeah. Or like, because it's easy to come up with something, but it's hard to get it out into like an actual vision, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know if
Exactly.
that's how you think, but
The
'cause, like,
practicality, yeah.
practicality, yeah.
Depends if I'm shooting it or not. It's like if I know like this is just a screenplay as like a writing sample, for example, like I just want to send this to a manager to show that I can write, and like this is an example of my writing. If I had like a X like million X amount of budget, then like I kind of let that go, and then I more like am concerned with if I was to include this big set piece here, does that fit into the story or whatever. But when I'm
Yeah.
shooting for myself, I am extraordinarily anal about everything I put in, as in like, well, if I include water, for example, like I had a debate with my friend on the short film I mentioned we wrote together. He was saying that one of the moments should take place in a puddle of water, and I was like, well, I don't think that should be the case because on like think about it on the set,
Like the
we're gonna have to
reflection.
like as in like the actor is going to be laying, so essentially it's like a scene, the actor is the character is dying and they're laying down, and he's like, it'd be cooler if it was like if they were dying in a puddle of water than they were like on the plain like dirt. And I was like, you have to think about that, like we'd have to put like a pad under them to make sure that they're not getting too cold. They would be like natural water, it'd be a little gross, we don't know what's in the water. And I'm like, I'm giving all these reasons why that's a dumb idea, but like
Yeah.
he's right, visually that is a much better, and the pool, like what he's seeing is like the blood of the dying character will fill the pool around that dying character. And I'm like, in my head I'm like, if we had $1,000,000, that's a game. I agree, but
Save
like I'm
that
saying,
idea. That's what I would be like. Save that idea.
yeah, I ended up caving and saying let's go with it anyway because I was like, you know what, it's that I want to see the blood kind of filling in the water. I was like, let's go with it. But, like,
The other thing I would think of is like, all right, so like, I mean, you're doing takes, so like every time you got this blood going in, what if we mess up? Like, how are we doing this? Because now we got blood that we got in the water that we got to get out to do it again, and like that just complicates things. You don't have like this extravagant budget and a crew to do it for you. To me, I would be like, that's a good idea, but
and then it's just awkward. It's just so awkward on the set when you're like having this actress that like, because a lot of the time it's actors that you just like Tinder in a way. You go on this website called Backstage, and
yeah,
you go through headshots, and you're like, oh, okay, that actor kind of looks like it. Let me just send him a DM and like, hey, I kind of like the way you look. Would you be willing to audition for this? And then like they agree, and then like they show up to your shoot and like, okay, and it's like it's the first time you're meeting them as a person. It's like, okay, can you lay down in this puddle of water, like we're gonna put some blood in you. I know like your ears gonna get clogged with water, but just deal with it, you know what I mean? I just met you like 2 hours ago, but like let's just get to it. Come on, we're rolling. It's just awkward.
yeah,
I can't stand it. But other times, the right way, you're typically doing rehearsals and meeting beforehand, and you're like, oh, okay, let's talk this through and whatever. But it's not always like that, is what I mean to say. But
yeah.
I always assume the worst because I'm very
Do you so
self-conscious.
when you try to explain somebody like your idea or like your concept for a story, like do you kind of feel like embarrassed, like trying to explain it? Like it sounds silly, but like you have this vision.
Back in the day, I used to, but one of my friends is very incredible at pitching, and he's just very like he's very animated, and whenever he's just telling an idea, he tells it out of like just not as like I'm trying to impress you, but just because he's just trying to tell you from one person who is very enthusiastic about movies to another person that is also enthusiastic about movies.
Yeah.
And so I kind of like look at it that way, where it's like I just want to tell an exciting campfire story. You know what I mean? Whenever I'm
Yeah.
like giving an idea out, but granted, a lot of my ideas are very artsy and very like pretentious and
I
very.
mean, and not only that, like when you're thinking, like I don't know, you see all these like Tarantino, his first movie, well, his first movie that was like his baby, Reservoir Dogs. Like, what was the budget for that? You know,
Who knows? I mean, maybe a million,
something.
but I don't know.
I think it was even less than that, dude.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
because I think he was friends with a lot of the people in it. I could be wrong.
Okay. Kind of want to look it up actually. Reservoir.
It might be more than I think. I might be thinking of a different movie where the budget was like way
Okay,
smaller than you thought.
1.2 million. But, like,
1.2.
yeah, so
Still though,
that's
you got to
really
think for like the
that's
actors that are in it.
yeah.
Like that's. But his movie, his. Because I feel like a lot of times the first movie that like a big director makes is something that they don't really. They don't. Their heart's not in it, but they have a good way of executing something, and they show their like way of doing things through that first, and then because of that, they get picked up to do something else. But
Yeah.
have you ever read stories about like how people like Taylor Sheridan is somebody I look up to a lot because he wrote Sicario, he wrote Hell or High Water,
Okay.
a lot of stuff like that, and like these were he was in the show Sons of Anarchy, and he basically got told you're like never gonna be more than this. They're like, you're never gonna do anything bigger than this. You're just gonna be this cop on this show. Like you peaked. And he had been writing, and so he's like, I've got Fade In, and I wrote this, you know, and I think it was Hell or High Water. It was either Hell or High Water or Sicario. I think it might have been Sicario, but like, you know, he knew some people from being on that show, and just things lined up, and all of a sudden Sicario comes out, and that movie was such a big hit that Hell or High Water got made, and then now he's directing his own show with Kevin Costner, Yellowstone, and like all kinds of shit. Yeah, he's got a movie coming out with Angelina Jolie that looks crazy over the top. Like this budget must be ridiculous, you know? And it's just like, dude, like that guy literally went from being told, like, this is the best thing you're gonna do in Hollywood is this little cop character on this show, and he turned around and now he's freaking telling people what to do.
I love those stories. I love that because it's
yeah. If there's anybody I could talk to right now in the film industry, it'd be that guy.
there's so much like about that. It's like a lot of it though. You'd be surprised is so much.
I've seen interviews.
What were you saying?
I've seen interviews where he explains like I just took a chance. I had nothing to lose. You know?
Yeah. It's all it's a big personality thing too. Like I feel like there's when you're in the business of like when you're in the conversation of like I'm working in LA, I'm talking to people in LA, and you make friends in LA, there's like a different kind of mindset you have to like what a friend is, because it's always like very transactional. It's always like, oh yeah, I'm best friends with
dude,
name drop, and then
I was on the set of Fresh Off the Boat. You know that show?
Okay. Yeah.
And so like I met what's his name? The guy who played Kim Jong Un in the interview.
Oh, I don't know his name, but
can't think of his name. But he's in like he's been in the Avengers and like freaking WandaVision. I want to say it's like Paul something or I can't. Randall Park, that's his name.
Okay.
Yeah, the Asian guy. And so like I mean I'm like saying hi to this guy, and like they're like, you know, like, so what are you doing here? Because obviously I wasn't working, you know, I was just kind of like looking around, and I was like, I'm in the military, and you know I'm really interested in working behind the scenes and stuff. You know, I'm really passionate about movies. I know that's cliche, but I just really respect how everything works. You know, I understand that it takes 40 takes sometimes just to get, you know, a simple little conversation, 2 lines done, you know? And so, I mean, like, everybody I talked to, I was just so happy to be there. And I think, like, that's why that guy was like, hey, you know what? Like, talk to this guy. And I went and talked to this guy, and he's like, that guy was a veteran, you know? And so, like, I go talk to him, and he's the assistant director. And he was like, or I think he was the second assistant director.
Okay, yeah.
So he's a second AD, and I'm talking to him, and he's like, yeah, I was in the Navy, you know, he got like medically discharged or something. And he's like, what are you doing right now? I was like, I'm doing helicopter search and rescue, San Francisco, deploying here. He's like, what can you work? And I was just like, oh, I'm still in. I can't work right now. You know, I got like 6 months till I get out. Like, I'm just coming to check things out, see if this is really what I want to do. And he's like, here's my phone number. And then everything shut down. But
dude, that's so cool.
the job that he called me for was a spinoff of Blackish. I was gonna go do that.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mentioned that.
1 second. I just realized we weren't recording those last like 5 minutes. It's fine though. But yeah, we should probably end the podcast. It's getting late.
Okay.
But yeah, man, it's always a pleasure, dude. I mean, I gotta reach out to the talent agency that you sent me.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, talk to somebody on the phone and explain my situation. Yeah, send me more. Absolutely, and then hopefully I get verified soon because that will definitely help.
Yeah, that'll be a huge step forward. But
I'm verified on Twitch. I should be verified on YouTube sometime, like by the summer, because once you hit 100K, I think you get verified. Or like people have like, there's been other YouTubers like, dude, you're not verified yet. I'm like, no, I literally just hit like 75K or something, you know. So there's that. And then once I get verified on 2 or more platforms, I think I can knock out like Instagram and Twitter, and then, you know, TikTok. I mean, if I'm verified on everything, I feel like that makes a big difference. So
it's huge. Like, yeah, you will have the infinity gauntlet.
Each one is an infinity stone. Yeah.
Yeah, a whole bunch of check marks across your fucking hand.
Now reality can be whatever I want. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. No, but it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be really awesome.
Dude, I mean, people. I just want to say one last thing. People think that, like, once you get to a certain point, like things get easier. Trust me, it doesn't. It's always freaking hard, man. There's always something new to learn. There's always some fallback. There's always some wrench in the gears. There's always some moment where you're like, oh man, you know, like it doesn't stop. So all those people who are like, Danny, I messaged you on Instagram, you never got back to me. If you're just saying hi or raid me, I'm probably not gonna respond. I'm sorry. At this point, I get so many DMs, I can't do it. I'm sorry.
You ever get those bullshit promo DMs all the time?
Like what?
Like, hey, I like with people from like 20 with like 27 followers. Hey, man, I made these glasses that like help you when you're gaming.
Right,
so
right now, I'm getting the thing I get hit up the most about is editors. People are like, yeah, they want to edit.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah, but I have a YouTube editor at the moment. We'll see. I think it's gonna continue. So he's in the UK, so it's kind of funny. But yeah, no, he's killing it. No, I thought about the TikTok editor just so I could have somebody like edit some Twitch clips, but I don't know. TikTok is my baby. You know, that started everything, so I'm kind of like protective of my vision on there. And sometimes I suffer because of that. You know, I get lazy, but and like right now, I feel like I gotta start changing. I had an idea. I think my Mortal Kombat G Fuel can showed up, and what I've never done is done like where like usually it's like my wife brings it in or little man brings it in, but my wife is in pain right now because of her wisdom teeth. Little man's gonna be going to sleep. So what I was gonna do is just bring it in here and crop this and make it a TikTok where it's like, oh, I got a box, you know, open it, all this stuff. You know, I can add sound effects and stuff. So it'd be different. Something new. Take it outside the box. I don't know. We'll see.
This was fun though, dude. Thank
yeah,
you
man.
For bringing it back on.
We'll definitely do it again.
Yeah. I'm really fucked up.
I can't. I'll be honest. I can't really tell. Doesn't really seem like it.
Okay, good. I'm trying to keep my cool, but like my heart and my brain and my eyes are like racing right now in all places.
Well, go take it easy. I gotta go put little guy to sleep and check up on the wife. But thanks for chatting, man. It's almost like therapy sometimes. You get to just kind of talk to somebody, and you don't feel like it's nice to talk to somebody that it's not like the first time talking to them, you know.
Yeah. Same, dude. Thank you.
Yeah. Always open to game, dude.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, let's definitely play some GTA RP.
Remember that. We're gonna have some moments in that. If you get Genie Kid in there, it's gonna be crazy.
Oh yeah, he's gonna get his PC. Yo, low key. Wait, maybe if he's probably gonna watch this, so I probably can't say it, but I'll just say it anyway. I'm gonna be upgrading PCs soon, and he's like working his ass off. Like,
Let me
getting
know. I might
$50.
help out.
Oh, really? I was
Yeah.
gonna gift him my old PC, like secretly, but like,
I mean, if
I
there's
don't know,
if there's anything else that like, we'll figure it out. We'll
hell
chat.
Yeah, dude. Thank you. So- okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll talk. All right, man.
Let's see.
Actually, all right, like, yeah, all right. Peace.